damn button, nerd.
I was looking for hit because the kids all say hit the damn button, nerd.
Oh, hit the. Is that what the kids say?
They say that and mash the bell.
Yeah, they do.
Not.
Well, that's what we say around here because we're funky fresh, Mosh. We know what we're all
Funky
about.
fresh.
Yeah, we're hip. We're with it.
Speaking of that, have you heard from Mikey?
By text and stuff.
Good.
Yeah.
How's he doing? He's doing good?
Mikey's doing well. Yeah, Mikey's doing well. In fact, he even called in the show last week and left us a nice message. And so,
Nice.
Yeah, look forward to doing some Mondays of Mikey Murf coming up
soon.
Yeah, right before the. Usually start at around like camp time, so I don't know when it'll deal with the whole COVID thing, but we'll find out. But definitely coming up later this summer. Hey, so Mosh, before I hit the button, the other button. We got people in the chat already. Chuck Down Raider, Atticus B. Rockin'.
Shoot, I should
Kevin the Raider Nerd, Raider Ramon, Herman Munster, My Opinion, Damage Inc., Raider Nation Scotland. Appreciate you all jumping in with us here for the latest episode of Raiders Fan Radio. So, Mosh, I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into 168.
Raider journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, Paletnikov, a leaping pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down, Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play. Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
What is up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murph back once again for what we trust will be a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio, live here in Murph's Fan Cave, episode number 168. You can find us every week on Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern, and so many people have already done that and joining us in the chat tonight. I can't scroll up, but it's Kevin the Raider Nerd's in there, Herman Munster, My Opinion, Chucktown Raider, Damage Inc., Raider Nation Scotland. What's up? Let's see. Kill Jadis. I owe you like 10 apologies. I've got one of your emails tonight. I don't know what was going on with your emails, but they kept getting skipped over in the inbox. So I've got your latest one tonight. So much appreciate you. We're going to read that. Mosh has got that tonight. Ron the Mater Raider, of course, holding it down in there. Raider Ramon, Tampa Raider. Lee B is in there. Eye Patch is in there. Appreciate all of you joining us live each and every week here on the YouTubes, as the kids say. Wait,
No, they don't.
They definitely don't. But the man that does say that each and every week is the one, the only, the legendary Uncle Mosh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's up? You're in like a wrestling.
I'm so in a wrestling mood, man.
Yeah, you are.
I've been watching. We're going to get to that in a minute. But
we're going to get to that in a minute.
Yeah. But, I'm so glad to be back.
Yeah, glad to have you, man.
I've been working, man. I had real live stuff to do.
Yeah, you did. You had a lot going on.
It's awful.
And not only did you have a lot going on, but then when you don't have anything going on, you can't even go to the casino.
No. Well, I can now.
We can now.
Yeah.
That's right. We're opening back up 1st of June.
Yeah. Well, we're just doing a little prep. We're trying to prepare for online teaching if we have to go that way, if we go to another lockdown situation. And so there's these new programs that we have to learn. And everybody that knows me knows how tech savvy I am.
Very much so.
Yeah, and when you try to type with sausages on the end of your wrists, it doesn't quite work. Yeah, it hit lots of buttons.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Mosh, because I had a segment saved for our respect segment, but I'm going to go ahead and we're going to hit it right here at the top of the show. We got a lot to get to tonight, episode number 168. Again, appreciate all of you jumping in and joining with us. A lot to get to tonight. But before we do that, Uncle Mosh, as you all know, those of you who listen regular, for those of you that don't know, Uncle Mosh is a lifelong educator. He's a lifelong teacher and coach. He's coached, just about every sport there is, had an incredible success and had his life dedicated to teaching. And right now, with all the craziness of the COVID, there's been like a lot of uncertainty around that. Everybody's kids is affected by this, and graduations have not gone on, and proms, and it's really fun, like some of the stories that have come out of that. But really, the crux of it is like this big time, I would say, arguably, and I'm speaking for you, but like one of the more challenging things you've ever had to do as an educator is to go through this whole thing and with your kids and like be able to do it. So that's not lost on everybody, and it's not even lost on the Raiders. And so I want to share this with you, Mosh. This is something that went out from Eric Harris, number 25, safety for the Raiders.
Oh, wow.
He sent this out there as a message to teachers.
Hey, Eric Harris here, number 25, safety for the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm about to get some work in, but before I did that, I wanted to take a second and just thank all the teachers out there. You guys have been tremendous through this hard time and just adjusting. And, I've seen a lot of benefits for my kids and, just how the teachers have been engaging my kids and, working with them and just making sure they're still getting the proper education that they need. So it's been difficult for us adapting as parents. Being a teacher is definitely not easy. So I appreciate all the effort that you guys have put in to this, virtual education programs and things like that. So you guys stay safe, and God bless you guys.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Uncle Mosh. We appreciate you.
Yeah, and maybe Will Compton will remember who I am.
Murph, Swag, Jeff, and who's the third guy?
We'll talk about
We'll
that
talk
later.
about that later. But thank you very much, Mosh. We
Thank
appreciate you.
Thank
man.
you.
We
And I
appreciate
appreciate
you.
that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So, all right. So, before we jump into our episode number, which we always tie back to something significant within Raider Nation, Uncle Mosh, this year our fundraiser, we have chosen the Stabler XOXO Foundation as our foundation of choice. The Stabler Foundation is was founded by, of course, the legendary snake Ken Stabler. And in 2015, the nonprofit took up a cause directly affected Stabler, and that is sports-related brain trauma. And so now it's run by Kendra Stabler, Kenny's daughter, and it's all about like initiating change or planning for change and dealing with brain traumas and brain injuries in sports, from youth sports all the way up through pro sports. So glad to partner with them this year. And so we've partnered with them through this fundraiser, and you can help us, Raider Nation, by going to RaidersFanRadio.com/gear, RaidersFanRadio.com/GEAR. There's a link there, and just click that link, and it takes you to the Fanatics website. Anything that you buy on the Fanatics website, including a Will Compton jersey, for instance, number 51 that I've ordered this last week, if you buy anything there, a portion of the profits from that, it doesn't cost you extra. The Fanatics people give us money. We're putting all that money together, and we're going to donate that to the Stabler XO Foundation. And Uncle Mosh, you got an update for us.
Yeah, I do. And, it's great because we give all of our money away. That's just something you and I, when we decided to go in this different direction, we said that's something that we're always going to do. And by picking these groups to go with, and right now, before in the deadest of the dead season, we got $197.78.
Awesome, man.
And last year we shot for $2,000. This year we're talking $2,500. So we're almost 10% there.
That's awesome.
Or if Swaggy were here, we would say we're 1.68% yardage. Yeah. So no kidding.
That's pretty cool,
That's
man.
pretty cool. Almost $200.
Awesome,
and
man.
that's great. That's great.
Yeah, that's 100%. Just like last year when we gave to Bolitnikoff, this is on behalf. This isn't coming from us. We make it perfectly clear. This is on behalf of the RFR listening audience and all the people that support us each and every week, like all the people in the chat tonight. And heck, even like last year, Mosh, when we supported Bolitnikoff, there was some people that were like just sending us money.
Well,
and I was like, it was like. It's awesome. Like they didn't even want anything in return. Like that's how generous people are around this.
And here's something we need to talk about. This is a hard time right now. We're economically in a hard time right now. So feed your family, tied to your church, make your car payment, do your house, do what you got to do, and then around July when things get better, or August or September, whenever you can go back to getting things, doing the way you're going to do it. But don't put yourself in a situation where, something's going to suffer or there's going to be a hardship. It'll happen. We'll rebound.
Yeah.
And when we do, because some of these guys, there's some guys in the chat that are saying, "Hey, I haven't worked in months," and God, we feel for you.
Oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Don't take that lightly at all. And so appreciate you saying that, Mosh, and you know what I mean? And our thoughts and hearts are with you guys, anybody that's out there struggling with this thing, because it's a rough time, and it's it's a funky time to be like, hey, give us money. But just understand that it's always going to a good cause, and we're going to continue our initiative despite whatever the craziness of the world is. But that's a good, good looking out there.
We're going to do the best. We're going to do the best we can with what we got, and that's all we can.
And if we come up short of our $2,500 goal, and we come up short, but the bottom line is that it's something. It's something. We're going to have something for the Stabler Foundation, one way or the other. And again, it's on behalf of you all. So we appreciate you, and thank you so much for the support that you give us here at Raiders Fan Radio. All right, so this is episode number 168, and our buddy Swaggo, who's not with us tonight in the fan cave,
where is he?
He's got daddy duties, man. We say faith, family, and football around here, and it's in that order. So absolutely, Swaggo's taking care of the family tonight, and so we appreciate him not being here. But Swag did sit in with me on the Will Compton interview. For those of you on the YouTubes, you can see I'm wearing my shirt that says "Straight Out of Will Compton." Of course, we're not out of Will Compton now because Compton came through. We did the interview with him on Monday. It's out on your Murf Fan Cave podcast feed.
It's really good, too.
Thank you, Mosh. It's an audio-only podcast. It's bleeped because we went potty mouth on it because, hey, look, as I was telling Mosh, we're going to meet Will where he's at, and that's just the way that their show rolls, and, we're no prudes around here, but we choose to keep our show clean so that way you can listen to it in the car with your family and all that, and stay open to a broader audience, but nothing wrong with anybody that decides to curse on their show or whatever, but that's not just what we've chosen to not do with our regularity. So anyway, so I bleeped it out though. But it's fun, and I'll probably release an unedited version of it, like on YouTube or something. I'll just have fun with it. But the interview is fantastic. So it's out there, audio only. I do have a video of it too, and Will told us, go ahead and share the video too if you want. So I might release that one day. But a lot of fun.
Did you, that shirt that you're wearing, where'd you order that?
Amazon.
Really?
Yeah. You can do a customized straight out of whatever shirt.
Oh, how funny.
So I just customized it to where the bottom says, instead of straight out of Compton, it just says Will Compton on it. Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. And speaking of shirts, we've got a line on people have been asking us about shirts.
Yes.
So we've got a line on shirts.
Yes.
And we're going to do things a little bit different. We've got a third party that's going to handle that for us. And those negotiations are being handled by Swaggy.
Swaggo's got it.
Because Swaggy does negotiate with for a living, And
he loves clothes.
And he loves clothes, and he loves swag. So he's taking care of that. But
yes.
I'm going to have my traditional Uncle Mosh shirt available.
Yeah.
He's going to have his swag. I'm holding up a picture of it. His Swag Jeff shirt available. And you're going to have
probably the Murf Fan Cave logo.
The Murf Fan Cave logo one, and then probably we're going to have the RFR Live shirt. So, we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, it would be cool. And again, all the money that gets raised there will go to the Stabler Foundation. And one last thing, and then kind of tie this all in together. So I did order a Will Compton jersey, and it should be here. It might even be here now. To be here any minute. So when I get that, I asked Will if he'd be willing to sign it. And he said he would. And so we're going to link up with Will at some point this year, probably at a tailgate or wherever. And he's going to sign that jersey, and we're going to auction it off to you, Raider Nation. And 100% of the money that we get from it, including the cost of the jersey and everything, we're just going to give it all away. We're going to give it tornado relief because Will lives here in Nashville. Right before the pandemic hit, we had to deal with freaking tornadoes.
Oh my gosh.
And all the destruction that came through. So we're still cleaning up from that. And so anyway, we're going to give all that away. And so appreciate Will being willing to do that. And appreciate Swaggo jumping in with me and doing that interview on Monday, man. It was a lot of fun. I got to say, Raider Nation, it's the best player interview we've ever done. I don't want to say it's the best interview overall we've ever done because Phil Villapiano is a legend for a reason, and he's a legendary talker, let alone player. And our interview with Phil was freaking amazing. So I don't know if it's the best interview we've ever done, but it's definitely, as far as current crop of players goes, Will's the best, man. And their Bussin' with the Boys podcast is a must listen if you're a Raider fan. You've got to listen to it. And so definitely support them. And we got a lot of respect for Will. In fact, and I've got a thing coming up with Will in the respect segment. Before we get to that, Swag Jeff every week ties our episode number back to something significant within Raider Nation. So let's go ahead and check in with young Swaggo and find out what he's got for 168.
Hey, what's up? It's Swag Jeff from RFR Live coming to you, episode number 168. We are, I'm not there currently right now, and normally that's a bummer. But you know what? Monday, we had the Wolf, the boy, Will Compton, live for an RFR conversation. So you know what? I'm still riding high from that. So I'm okay. So you guys do your thing today. Hope it's a great show. But every week, Swag Jeff brings you the episode number.
I love it how he goes third person.
In Raider history, and I got a couple things for you today. First one, we're going to take it not too long ago, 2017. The Raiders with the 168th pick overall in the draft select Markel Lee. And if you don't like that and that's not good enough for you, we're going to take it back a little bit further. We're going to take it back to the year 1970.
1970, Mosh.
1970. I was getting ready to. I was looking forward to puberty.
All right, so
I was driving and drinking, but I was looking forward to puberty.
All right, so note that on your RFR notes sheets, Raider Nation.
Yeah. We're talking about Richard Nixon was president.
Yeah, 1970.
And we're going to highlight Charlie Garner.
Okay, listen, Jeff. Charlie Garner was born in 1972.
Ah, jeez. So what is he going to 168 sperm count? What are we doing here, Swaggy?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, we're not talking about Charlie Garner. And look, it happens to us when you're on air all the time. You will misspeak. It happens to me.
Oh,
it happens to you. It happens to us all the time. You will misspeak. Swaggo meant to say Charlie Smith.
Yeah,
he didn't
did.
mean to say Charlie Garner. Anyways.
He played in 14 games that season, ran for 681 yards and 3 scores, but more importantly, he had 168 rushes that year. That's right, 168. Enjoy the rest of the show. Go Raiders.
Yeah, he did.
Swaggy.
Will you stifle yourself?
All right, Mosh, let's hit some contact info and then jump into some respect.
Hey, Raider Nation, this is Max Crosby from the Oakland Raiders.
And goes down, and Max Crosby, who forced a fumble last week.
You're listening to Murf, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Thank you so much. Just win, baby.
You want me to get this?
Yeah.
So here on Raiders Fan Radio, we don't do shout outs. We don't do free stuff. We don't do hey, if you do that, that's okay. We're not going to hold that against you, but what we like to do is we like to give a little bit of respect.
Well, respect.
So we got some folks that we're going to give respect to. So I'm going to take this first one because because back in 1970, I had a major crush on this person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not Lyle Alzado for the Broncos. It was it's Phyllis George. Phyllis George was Miss America in 1971.
Oh yeah.
But and Phyllis, what's so cool about her and why we would give respect to her on Raiders Fan Radio is because Phyllis passed away. She died Thursday in Lexington, Kentucky. She was 70 years old. Same age as my wife. I hope she's not listening, but she never does, so that's okay. I'm good. I came home last time, a little offshoot. I came home last time, and she goes, "Where were you?" And I said, "Doing the podcast." And she goes, "You still do that?"
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did. And I go, "Where do you think I go on Wednesdays?"
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, yeah, you're not in school." Anyway, so Phyllis died of I can't even say it. It's one of those really
rare,
13 long,
sad. Very sad.
word thing. It was a rare blood cancer. She had been diagnosed with it 35 years ago. So she lived half her life with this.
Wow.
And it didn't hinder her. She was hired as a CBS Sports Weekly pregame football show person, and she was teamed with Brent Musburger and Irv Cross, and immediately became the most prominent woman in sportscasting.
Yeah, it was a big deal,
because
man.
women weren't in sportscasting.
Nope.
And people used to say, oh, it's just her beauty queen background, and she had a little bit of a modest television resume, and so she got a lot of criticism. And they said, you lack traditional sportscasting credentials. And I love, Phyllis responded like this. She said, I'm from Texas. And she told People magazine in 1976, she said, down here, you follow the Longhorns and you follow the Cowboys, or you don't belong.
Oh, nice.
So she knew
she
a
got
little
it.
bit. She understood.
Yeah, she got it.
And she was a pioneer. Hannah Storm, from ESPN
Absolutely,
Sports Center.
Yeah.
She wrote in an email, and she said somebody had to be the first, and that was Phyllis George. She was a trailblazer. She's known for some great interviews. Probably, we're going to play one. It's the most famous for us.
Yes.
But everybody else's most famous interview was when she was interviewing Roger Staubach, right? And it was 1975, and you know how stoic Staubach was, because he was all, and anyway, and he said to her, he said, Miss George, I like sex as much as Joe Namath. I just like it with one person, my wife. Because you remember all the stuff with Joe Namath.
Because Joe was a playboy and Roger was not.
Yeah,
Roger's a big Christian and very strict.
Joe was all just slobbering all over her on the sideline.
Yeah.
I just want to kiss you, he was all stupid. But
that was when he did Susie Colbert.
Yeah. So, but he was. Phyllis George was she was awesome, and a lot of us, we go back and forth on our women. And I'm not trying to sound like a sexist pig here, but can they commentate without playing the game on the sidelines? Absolutely.
And that's a fair criticism of a lot of guys even too. You'll hear. They'll be like, you know what I mean? If you've never played, like, what are you know what I mean? Like, you hear that all the time. So that even really doesn't have to do with gender.
And
even at
some
that
of
point.
the best announcers we've ever had, Howard Cosell, made his name doing boxing, for crying out loud.
Right.
And there's no way he was a boxer. And then he was an icon on Monday Night Football.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
so what?
Shout out.
Yeah, much respect to Phyllis. And, you don't get to, like, Susie Colbert, I think, is awesome. Like, I love Susie Colbert.
Oh,
you don't
absolutely.
get to Susie Colbert. You don't get to Hannah Storm. You don't get to Erin Andrews. You don't get to MJ Acosta. You don't get to Kay Adams. You don't get to all these women now, the Melissa Stark and Lindsay Rhodes. Like, it's, an endless list now of women that are in sports media.
Right.
And they're freaking great, man. Like I wake up every day with Kay Adams. I watch her every morning. And the last thing I think about, except for the occasion where I look at her and I'm like, wow, she's really pretty. Like, aside from that, it doesn't even register with me that, like, oh, she's a girl. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, what matters is that she's freaking good at what she does. It's a fun show. And you don't get to that point without somebody like Phyllis. And so, so we wanted to definitely give her respect because it was such a big deal in 1975 or whenever it was that she did this.
71.
No,
you're right. 71, she won Miss America. And then
75, she started on CBS Sport. And she's up there with, like, Jimmy the Greek and, like, she's up there with, like, knuckleheads, man. And did an awesome. So anyways, let's bring a full circle here. One of the things I wanted to play was that she pulled that great quote out of Staubach, but she pulled an awesome interview and quote with Snake Stabler, with Kenny the Snake Stabler. And so I'm going to play that for you here. So rest in peace, Phyllis George. After this, we'll move on to the next one.
Everyone refers to the Raiders as the bad guys. Are you?
Yeah, and I like that image. I think a lot of our players like the image. We wear black. You see the cowboy movie, and the guy has a black hat and a white hat. The white hat's usually the good guy, and the black hat's the bad guy. And we got some physical players on our team. That's the way you have to play to win, and that's the way we play.
I love that, man. I love that comparison, man. Bad guys are in the black hats, good guys are in the white hats.
Yeah, man.
And
he did it in only in Kenny's voice. Just the way he could.
Distinct, man. Distinct. I love so speaking of Stabler, man, there's a really funny GIF. Is it a GIF or a GIF, whatever the kids call it, that came up this week, and it was like and it was on Twitter, and it said, just in case you forgot who the greatest quarterback of all time was, you might want to tell your cheerleaders to stay home when Stabler showed up at the stadium. And it's Stabler just completely macking on these 3 Broncos cheerleaders. and he's like, you can see him talking to him, and he's, I don't know, he's doing something with the football or whatever. And then he walks away, and all 3 of them just turn and follow him as he's leaving with the biggest smiles on their face. Little snake, man. Like, there was no mistaking who the greatest was. All right, so next up, I'm going to get to another bit of respect. I'm going to shout out. Mosh, you got the chat pulled up? You want to shout him out?
I do. Matthew Menges, Full Metal Mexican, Monster Mash, Ken. Kajidas 907. I know I say his name wrong, but, you know.
Kiljadis, I think, maybe?
Yeah. Kiljadis?
Kiljadis, yeah.
Kiljadis. Anyway.
Kiljadis.
Kiljadis. Q-Dog.
Pronounce that one.
I got Q-Dog. Eye Patch, Chucktown Raider. Man, everybody's here.
Full Metal
Everybody's
Mexican's
here.
in there.
Full Metal Mexican is
Kevin
here.
the Raider Nerd. Monster Mash Ken, man.
Monster Mash Ken. Raider Joker is here. Did I say Damage Inc., Raider Nation from Scotland? I mean, tons and tons of people. Ron the Raider, of course. What are you doing?
I'm showing little Murph because Monster Mash Ken is in there.
Oh, yeah.
Monster Mash Ken's the one that built this.
Raider Ramon, Chucktown Raider. Raider Cody is in there.
Hey, what's up, Cody? Appreciate Cody.
Everybody's there. The Big Easy's in there. Everybody's there.
Lots of people in there. Good deal. Appreciate you all. So speaking of Cody, we took a run at Cody in our interview with Compton because we were telling Compton about how like we linked up with them and then he agreed to be on our show and then we didn't hear from him and a week later he was on Cody's show and we had a big laugh about it and Cody, if you haven't had a chance to listen to our interview,
he don't listen to our stuff.
Well, yeah, he does. So never mind. When you listen to our show, Cody,
for the 3rd time with your notepad.
But no, I hope you could appreciate where we went with that with you and with Will because it's it really did. We become friends with Cody and listen, I'm going and we're gonna talk more about this later. We're all over the place tonight, but just whatever. It's the off season. We're going to collaborate this year together. Cody and I are in person. We're going to be, I would say co-hosting. I'm going to guest on his thing pre-game in Vegas before Raider games. And so I don't know how many, at least one for sure. We'll talk about that later on. But yes, Cody has become such a good dude. I talk to him all the time on text and even phone calls. Cody's on a little bit of a hiatus. He's building a new studio at his house.
Sweet.
He's on fire right now with his show and with his content, and always best of luck to him and much success to him, and really become not only appreciative of him as a fellow content creator, but as a friend, man. He's a good dude. Cody is a good dude.
Yeah, he is.
So anyway, we talked about that with Compton. Well, so there I want to give respect this week to Will. I want to give respect to Will Compton. He finally showed up. He finally showed out here on Raiders Fan Radio, and we had an absolute blast, man. It was so fun, and he gave a lot of respect himself to Raider Nation, and I've got it somewhere along here in my list of things here, Mosh. I've got a little audio clip that I want to share with you about what he said about Raiders fans. Let me bring this thing up here. Sorry, guys. I should have had it ready to
Herman
go.
Munster's in there. The Big Easy's in there.
All right, here we go. Wait, was this it? What the heck?
RPCD Joker's in there. Tampa Raider. Pirate 1975.
Where this damn thing went? Oh, here it is. Okay, here we go. What's so unique about what you guys did, and then especially as Raider fans, we were just like, dude, just like eating it up, man. Like,
I'll on that shit. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Whoops.
Dude, your fan base, the Raider fan base is second to none, dude. It's just crazy following all you guys and seeing just all the interaction constantly about Raider stuff going on, and it's it was fun to be a part of. I'm talking like fans outside of our facility every day. Like no matter what day it was, like small crowds sitting outside wanting autographs from everyone.
That's so cool, man. He went on and he goes on further from there and talks a lot about his experience with Raider Nation and about how people would show up with armfuls of things to sign. And he would be like, I'm not Derek Carr, man. Like, what are you going to do with 8 Will Compton autographs? It's really, really fun.
There was one of, there was one of their shows where they were talking about that. They were talking about
Waller.
Yes.
Talk about
Waller.
Waller.
With Waller, yeah. And they're going, dude, didn't I sign that for you, that same picture for you 5 times already. What are you on the eBay or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he goes, yes, no, it's for my boss, Will. It's for my boss. And he's like, yeah, okay. And I'll see him the next day, and he'd be like, hey, my boss really liked that. And he'd be like, yeah, I bet he did. Anyway, so appreciate Will and appreciate Phyllis George and of course Eric Harris. We kind of led this whole thing off with some respect this week.
So here it comes, boys and girls.
What's up, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Will Compton. You're listening to Raiders Fan Radio with my boys Murf, Swaggy Jeff, and Uncle Mosh. Tune in because they fucking put out a banger podcast.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so we gotta talk about that for a hot second. Okay. You guys know when it comes to twitting.
Yeah, you're a Twitter.
I'm a Twitter.
Yeah,
but I'm not a good Twitter. I noticed that when
you're twittish.
I was gonna twit yesterday.
Yeah,
and I got on there and I was like, okay, and now let's see, when was my last twit? And I noticed that I had twitted a whole bunch.
Oh, you did?
No. Our social media director had taken care of it for me.
Oh, did he?
But yeah,
good.
That he had retweeted some things for me.
Oh, I see.
But
okay.
So the ones that you can tell when I do them, because I'll call somebody out. I'll say, "Hey, Herman Munster, what's happening?" Or Ramon, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I haven't been in on a lot of this stuff that you and Swag have been doing with busting their balls because
with Will. Yeah.
Because I still don't know how to follow, like when somebody what's a thread, and I click on it and then I get like naked girls and there's all kinds of stuff and I don't know what I'm doing and I
don't know. I don't think you're on Twitter.
Oh no, that's Tinder.
Oh, Mosh is over there swiping the wrong way.
Oh,
my gosh.
I wouldn't go up and down. I was having to go left and right. But no, so so the funny thing is
no wonder Aunt Kathy's she's like, I don't know where you've been.
She's like, oh, okay. Why do you keep asking for a lot of ones? What happened to all those ones in that jar? Anyway. Yeah, so I wasn't in on all this messing with.
You didn't know about it.
Messing with Will.
You didn't know about it.
I knew what was going on, but I couldn't read them all.
Right.
And even with Domenico's, even with the deli, because people tag me on stuff, and then it goes, show the thread. Well, I don't know who said what first. I got to get back to school.
And it's Tyrone Mack, I believe, is his name on Twitter.
Yeah.
That guy's like going to Domenico's like every week now and like tagging us and like talking about the show and like Jeff Murphy. He's going to the old school Domenico's in Alameda.
In Alameda, he's driving an hour to get there. And
much respect to that.
So
man.
So that's happening and all the stuff with Will's going on. And so when he does his ID, listen to it here.
Yeah.
What's up, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Will Compton. You're listening to Raiders Fan Radio with my boys Murf, Swaggy Jeff,
pause,
and Uncle Mosh. Tune in because they fucking put out a banger podcast.
Yeah. So he goes, hey, this is Will Compton here, and I'm tuning with Murf and Swaggy J. Uncle Mosh.
Yeah.
There was this pause because
Murf, Swag Jeff, and who's the third guy?
Because he didn't know I existed.
He didn't.
He had no clue what an Uncle Mosh was.
That was the best. So I go, hey, will you mind cutting an ID for us? He's like, sure, man. I go, okay. And I told him, just say whatever, you say in Raider Nation, blah, 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 whatever. And he goes, okay. And I said, yeah, it's me and Swag Jeff and then Uncle Mosh. And then you got this.
Yeah.
Murf, Swag Jeff, and who's the third guy?
That's the best. That's the best, Mosh. So funny.
My gosh.
Oh, so funny.
Yeah. I don't know what did I do? Chucktown Raider goes, thanks for the picture, Mosh. And then he's got a guy puking.
Oh.
What is that, me on Tinder?
Oh my gosh. All right. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Hey, Running Bear's in there tonight. Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, Running Bear.
Absolutely. Big Easy's in there. Killed Jadis. Tell us if we're pronouncing that right. Ron the Materator. Michelle Sweat. What's up, Michelle? Right down the road here. Chucktown Raider. Aaron the Q-Dog Raider. Monster Mash Ken. Tampa Raiders in there. Matthew Mangus. Appreciate everybody joining us each and every week here and youtube.com/Murf's Fan Cave. All right, Uncle Mosh. We got this big segment in here. We're going to call this is the schedule and off-season mix bag. I didn't know. That sounds so dopey. But we didn't know what to do because we had so Swaggo and I covered the schedule stuff last week on the rundown. And there's so much news right now. It's crazy. We're in June, or almost June, and the freaking Raider stories are coming out like crazy. So I just threw a bunch of stories together. So we're kind of already all over the place tonight as it is. So we're just going to continue to be all over the place tonight. So first off, in our schedule and off-season mix bag, we're gonna go to, speaking of Bussin' with the Boys, speaking of Will Compton, I've said earlier at the top of the show, Bussin' with the Boys is a must-listen for Raider fans. One of the reasons why is, it's co-hosted by a Raider in Will Compton, but also he has a bunch of Raiders on the show, and he talks about being a Raider, and he talks about behind the scenes. It's like getting a audio version of Hard Knocks. So definitely listen to Bussin' with the Boys. And most recently, they had Derek Carr on. So wow, Derek Carr's on there, and the show,
and they don't pull punches either.
No, and look, the show is hosted by Will and left tackle for the Tennessee Titans, Taylor Lewan, a guy who's intimately familiar with Marcus Mariota, right? All this stuff we've been talking about, the dynamic between Mariota and Carr and all that, they freaking talked about it. And this is the cool thing about this show is that the guests, their defenses are down. It's almost like, how Dan Patrick has that effect or Eisen has that effect.
Right.
People's defenses come down because they know they're not going to take a soundbite out of context or use something against them or make them look and so the players that go on Bussin' with the Boys, it's very forthcoming and it's raw and it's awesome. And so anyways, here's Derek Carr talking about the dynamic between him and Marcus Mariota.
Have you talked to him at all or had any of those conversations with him about how to get acclimated to guys, any of that stuff, kind of been a good teammate or been all right, we'll see how it goes?
Oh, no, 100%. Me and Marcus, we've known each other obviously from playing each other in college. And then obviously throughout the NFL, it feels like we went to Tennessee the first 4 years of my career to
3 years, Derek.
play the Titans, which it felt like.
No doubt.
We were there every time. You guys came to us one preseason, and every other time we'd go to you guys. But knowing him, and then we've talked already. We've talked about where we're living and this and that and football and plays and Gruden and offense and the team and everything. Literally everything. And he is by far one of the coolest, nicest, professional people I've ever been around. I got nothing but good things to say about him, as you know. You guys know him. He's amazing. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
And I think
he's awesome.
Yeah, I think that us two in that locker room helping lead our football team is amazing. I think the most important thing is to have a united quarterback room. I've always thought that, coming up through the league, is when you have a strong united quarterback room, we can all go lead the football team. It doesn't matter if you're the backup, you're the one on the field. It's our job to lead those guys because our depth of the offense that we know, and we have to correct guys and things like that. Having 2 and really 3, 4, guys that can do that, I think is only but good things for our team.
Pretty cool stuff there, Mosh. So, Swag and I have gone on now for the better part of 4 episodes, gushing about the idea of what is going to go on with Mariota and Carr. What do you think, Mosh?
I'm not going to gush about that because I'm going to wait and see. Okay. Because you have gushed.
Yeah,
you guys have gushed, and we can all speculate on it, but it's just going to be so awesome. Talk about premier quarterbacks. You got 2 premier quarterbacks. They may not have played that well their entire careers, but these 2 guys have mirrored, and I've told you that from the beginning. Their careers have so mirrored each other, and then to have them on the no COVID, and then to have them on the same team. That's amazing.
Yeah, man.
It's going to be fun.
It's pretty
It's
cool,
going to be
man.
really, really fun.
Both of those guys are really easy to root for. And if, look, iron sharpens iron, man. And if and so whoever it is that ultimately wins out and has the most success, like, great. Like, just equal wins. Like, that's what it's all about. All right. So next up, let's go to the coach. I've got John Gruden on his mentality. I mentioned the schedule was released last week. We all did our mock schedules, and of course, everybody came out at 10-6.
What coach?
We're running out of time. My life is running out of
that guy?
lifespan.
Three of the last 4 games at home. If we can take care of business and stay in contention and be a factor in December, to have 3 home games in Las Vegas is really exciting. But like I said, you know me too well. I don't want to talk too much about week 14, 15, and 16. We'll play anybody, anywhere, on any time zone. That's the mentality I want us to have. I know that's the mentality we're going to have.
How about that, Mosh?
That was great.
Isn't that the best?
Anytime, anywhere, anyhow, anywho. We don't care.
We don't care.
Bring it. Just bring it.
We're damn Pirates, man. We show up at your house and take what we want.
Yeah.
That's what Raiders do, man. That's the whole definition of a Raider.
I love
Good stuff. All right, so I mentioned we're all over the place. So here we go. We're going to go to we're going to check in on some draft picks. The second pick of the draft for us was a very big need in cornerback, and we drafted Damon Arnett.
Right.
So Damon Arnett is, some podcast hosts got all weird about it and threw their headphones and like acted like big babies. It was really weird.
Uh-huh. It's because they didn't have an ice cream place to go drown their tears with,
drown their sorrows in.
Q-Dog right behind them.
Exactly. So, but it was like there was a lot of question around it since, like, as per usual, since then having an opportunity to go back and look at film and like look at statistics and like try to understand who the player is more than like, oh, well, here's this guy that I like because whatever reason, and this is the player I hope the Raiders draft, and they don't draft that person. And some people didn't follow their own advice. And so anyways, now at this point, there's a lot of stuff coming out about Damon Arnett, and he's legit, man. Like, I'm really excited about this pick at this point. I'm still a little weird about Ohio State corners, but that said, there are a lot of people out there that know a lot more about football than I do, and people that spend their careers studying football, and Peter King is one of them. I'm not the biggest Peter King fan because he lets his politics lead at times, and I'm not down with that. But anyways, that's aside. When it comes to football, though, I got a lot of respect for him and his opinion about things. And listen to Peter talk about Damon Arnett.
Las Vegas Raiders wanted a cover guy who they believe could line up on the great receivers of the AFC West early on in 20 and 21. And I think the one number, Pro Football Focus has this number out, which is really, really interesting, that in man coverage of all the cornerbacks in this draft, Damon Arnett had allowed the lowest passer rating in college football of any cornerback in this draft in man coverage. And that's one of the reasons I think that both John Gruden and Mike Mayock got interested in Damon Arnett.
I love that idea because that's what Raiders do.
Yep.
We, Al invented bump and run. All about man coverage. And it's been a long time since Nnamdi Asomugha or whoever, when you look at Chris Johnson, even it's been a long time since we had like a big deal corner that could play man to man and be, there for a long time and kind of not necessarily lock up a side of the field. Maybe it's a mirror thing, whatever it is. But point being, though, is that somebody that could play man to man that well. And
somebody that quarterbacks were scared of.
Exactly. And that's the thing about Nnamdi is that when you look at when Nnamdi was a Raider, Nnamdi didn't have a lot of stats because no one ever threw at him.
Right.
Nnamdi would have a couple pass deflections and maybe a pick and some years not even that because literally no one would throw at him. And it's been a long time since we had a man-to-man guy like that. And that's Al Davis. That's Raider football. And so if Damon Arnett is that guy, then you got my support, man. So despite, my tantrum, well, it was a tantrum, but it was like a shock anyways on draft night. Despite that, now at this point, I'm like, okay.
When you throw your headsets, it's a tantrum.
Yeah. Okay, well, I had a little bit of a tantrum. It was a quick tantrum.
It was a short tantrum.
It was a short tantrum. I don't do long tantrums.
No.
Because that would be immature.
And if you held your breath, it would be like a good lung exercise. Okay,
you know what I mean? Like how many 47-year-old dudes do you know hang out in their bonus room and throw headphones because there was a player selected by their team that they didn't plan on? Oh, boo-hoo. You know what I mean?
Just look at
like,
the chat.
There we go. There's 47-year-olds in there that had the same reaction. All right. So speaking of draft picks, we talk often on this show about how when we're trying to find insight into who a player is, like there are, somebody that we're not necessarily overly familiar with. When we're trying to find out about somebody, great source is their coach. Like who's the college coach of that player? Gives you a really good insight to who they are as young men, who they are as players. And of course, your head coach in college is always going to sing your praises because he wants you to go into the NFL and do well because that amplifies your program. And by doing that, it helps you in recruiting. And so I get it that there's a reason behind all this stuff. But that said, you can also kind of read the tea leaves on who's being genuine and who's really just kind of,
coach talk,
who's fluffing, right?
Right.
So in this case, we're going to check in with Skip Holtz. Skip Holtz is the head coach of Louisiana Tech, rival of our MTSU Blue Raiders. We won't hold that against them like Jeff Murphy taught us. We root for the small school guys, even though they might have been our rivals in college. We're going to root for them at the next level. So let's check in with Skip Holtz, and he goes on to tell us about who Amik Robertson is as a young man and a young football player.
They're getting a special player, obviously, but I think an even unique, neat, awesome young man. Amik's got talent skills. He's got ball skills. I think he is a very unique player from a standpoint that he's probably one of the most passionate, one of the most committed football players I've been around. I mean, it is all about ball, and he absolutely loves the game. I think he brings an energy to practice every single day. His confidence may be his biggest asset. As great as his ball skills are and his quickness and the things that he does on the field, but I think his competitive nature and his confidence are probably his two biggest strengths.
You know what I love about that, Mosh, is that what are the Raiders building? What have Mayock and Gruden? Passion for the game, confidence, that's it. That's the common denominator of every single draft pick and free agent that the Raiders have signed.
It goes back to when John makes the call. We've watched when John makes the call when he's calling these guys and he goes, "Hey, this is John Gruden. You ready to be a Raider?" And they go, "Yes, sir. Yes, thank you." And he goes, "Good. Now you're going to be able to sack a quarterback for me. You're going to be able to stop the pass. You're going to be, you know what I'm saying?"
Yeah.
Immediately, it's like, congratulations, you're getting into a great system. Blah, blah. No. He says, "You ready to play? Now, this is what I expect from you." I love that. Now, I don't know if other coaches do that, but that's from day one, from the first second, that it's official, man. It's like, you got to buy into this.
Yes.
This is what we're doing.
I love that, Mosh. And it also makes me feel like there's already those conversations, or at least the precursor to them, have already happened. And that's now it's like, okay, now we remember all that stuff we talked about. Okay. Yeah. Now we drafted you, and now you got to go do all that. You know what I mean? I love that accountability and expectation. Like you stated, man, very well put, Mosh. All right. So speaking of the call, one of our favorite calls last year, was Max Crosby when he was drafted. Max. We're big Max fans around here. And so let's check in with Max on his offseason. We talked to Comp about this a little bit. It was like, okay, with the COVID and all the craziness, what are you doing to stay in shape? And so here's Max Crosby telling us about how his offseason has gone so far.
We knew who we were going to be playing, but just kind of cool knowing where and when. There's going to be some awesome games. We got 4 primetime games, which is sick. So many quarterbacks that are, high level. So, obviously I know I'm fired up. We had some games last year, and, the Chargers game on Thursday night was huge. And I feel like we definitely shined as a D-line, and we want to do that every single week. But, obviously getting to do it in front of more people is awesome. And, me and Clee and the rest of the D-line, that fires us up. We want to be in front of, everyone. We want to display what we can do on the national stage. Get more primetime games is awesome. We have a new D-line coach, so we're just trying to get to know him, and we can't even, be with him in person. So it makes it, even harder. But, he's been going out of his way to call all of us, every single day, even after meetings and stuff like that. And, obviously we have to adapt. We're professional athletes. We're supposed to be taking care of our body regardless. So you just got to find ways to make it happen. I know Cleve's been working. I know I've been working. This whole Corona thing has been crazy, but, I feel like, it can be used as an excuse to not, train to the highest of your ability because, you're locked in and stuff like that. It's going to be very exciting. I just want things to get back to normal, just like everybody else.
Mosh, I want you to elaborate on that because he went on about how they're constantly staying in contact with their players. Very similar dynamic of what you were just talking about, how when school ended, it ended abruptly. You didn't expect it, but you're still day to day in touch. Like
I talk to my kids every 3 days. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I send them a message. And it's kind of funny because I don't sleep. I don't sleep. I just don't sleep. So I'll I'll go to bed. I'll go to bed at midnight or whatever. And by 3 o'clock, I'm up, and it's just the way it is. So I send a message I text message. We can't do group texting. Because some idiot ruined that for everybody. But so there's 2 or 3 kids that have signed, their parents have signed a waiver that I can text, and then they send it to the whole group. And it's my core kids. It's about 60 kids, and so I send them those kids a message, and I say, hey, please post this in your group. And I say, happy Wednesday, happy Monday, happy Friday. Do this. Make sure you're staying up with this. And I'll tell them, since we're locked out of the school and we were 7 days away from a production, we're still trying to get that production complete. And I give them an update and I just try to be positive, and just try to tell them, what's going on in as far as the school in our little microcosm, in our little community, what's happening. And I hear back from their parents all the time, hey, that was a really nice message, because I'll send them a funny little thing, or I'll send them because I can text. There's no swiping.
Yeah, because you talk to text.
I talk to text, exactly. And then all I got to do is go back and correct the words.
Right.
But so it really is important to hear from your leadership, and I know that where did Zoom come from? Whoever invented Zoom they went from, a little podunk thing to worth billions now, and everybody. So it's really, really important to hear from leadership. And I love that the coaches, like he said, after meetings, they talk every day.
That's so cool.
That's
and like when you look at, like your kids versus these young men, like there's only like a 5-year difference. Like it's not that big. Like we got, you know what I mean? Like you're talking about, very young adults here. I
got a kid in my program he's not going D1, but he's going to go kick at the college level. I got one of the kids in my program she's a cheerleader, and she got a full scholarship to cheer at The Ohio State.
Oh, nice.
So I mean, these are kids that are going to be in that mix with folks that are going to be going on to this next level in a year or two.
Yeah.
So I mean. Yeah,
it's a big deal. Well, we appreciate that sentiment, man, because absolutely, it's important to stay in touch and keep them motivated and keep them engaged, and it sounds like that's what the Raiders are doing, and so that's awesome for sure. All right, I've got 2 more. One of them, Mosh, isn't on the rundown. We're going to end on. I'm going to hit the Good Morning Football crew next. I mentioned them at the top of the show. Kay Adams, Kyle Brandt, Nate Burleson, Peter Schrager. Nate, I'm not a huge fan of what he had to say on this topic, but I'm a big fan of what the next 2 guys had to say, but I at least appreciate Nate's honesty in it. And they were talking about AFC West wide receivers.
James Palmer, who we know is very close and does a lot of reporting with the Broncos, he wrote about how they reworked their offense with some weapons to support Drew Lock, who Nate Burleson is just like drooling over all offseason, these additions. So, Nate, which quarterback and rookie wide receiver duo do you think will have the biggest impact in the AFC West? Is it Locke and Jerry Jeudy, or is it Derek Carr and Henry Ruggs? This is a really tough one. I start with you.
This is tough once again because I look at the running game, and Josh Jacobs was so good last year. I feel like they're going to feed him even more and feature him even more. But then on the flip side, you look at the Broncos, they got Philip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon from the Chargers. But with that said, the fact that the Broncos went out and drafted 2 wide receivers in the first 2 picks of the draft, adding to what they have in Cortland Sutton, I feel like they're going to light up the skies. And you know what? In that division, that might be the plan. I mean, we're talking about who's going to beat the Chiefs. Maybe they're planning to go out there and have the same type of aerial attack with the same type of speed as the Chiefs have.
Killing me.
I'm going with Drew Lock and Jerry Jeudy. I feel like they're going to be busy this year.
I'll go with the Raiders.
There you go. Come on,
the Raiders. Oh, come on, Nate. We can be talking about establishing the running game and the battle in the trenches. Give me a wide receiver who runs a 1.640 in Las Vegas, and I'm going to roll with it, of course. Listen, the question is, I don't know if it's how long it's going to be Carr throwing to him when you got Mariota on the sideline. I don't care who it is. I'm going to take a run. What are we going to do here? Make the conservative approach and say, well, the Broncos have a more well-rounded receiving corps. No, give me Ruggs. That's it. Peter, what do you want? Give me something good here, Peter. I want a good answer from you right now, Peter.
Every single NFL mock draft and every single pundit had CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy, and then the third receiver off the board is going to be Henry Ruggs III, a fast speedster out of Alabama. Well, guess what? The Raiders had the first wide receiver taken, and all the mock drafts were wrong. All the pundits were wrong. They took the silver and black race car. This is what he is, a silver and black race car. His name is Henry Ruggs III. He's going to Las Vegas, and he is the #1 show in town. Amari Cooper's way gone from the Raiders. They didn't have that #1 receiver last year, and they drafted one with the 12th overall pick. You better believe they're going to Henry Ruggs. You better believe John Gruden is in that man cave of his and drawing up plays to get him open. He might not even have to draw up too much. When you got 4.27 speed, you're already open out of the gates.
Is Derek Carr going to push down the field more and take advantage of that speed on that car? That is my question.
Absolutely. K's the best, man.
You know, if people don't know who he is by now, if they don't know who Ruggs is by now,
America, go to the YouTube right now.
That's a weird deal going on there.
Ruggs,
I don't know what's happening.
Now, like, all the videos are like, well, and they've been out for a while now, but like people are really locking into like him playing basketball.
Right.
What an athlete he is. And like, I mean, Henry Ruggs is awesome. So speaking of Ruggs, I got one more thing to get to, and then we'll hit a break, and then jump into Raiders and pop culture. All right. Mosh, this is fun. Okay. So on the short list of Raider legends, especially recent Raider legends, Charles Woodson might be number one.
Yeah. He's your number one for sure.
Absolutely. As far as, again, recently retired player. I mean, maybe Marcel, my guy here. But outside of that, I mean, Woodson is just, freaking awesome. Anyways, so Raider legend Charles Woodson had some commentary on Henry Ruggs III. And this is he's doing like a little like a selfie video thing kind of, and it's him and his young son. So here you go.
Henry Ruggs, man, congratulations, man. The 12th pick in the 2020 NFL draft, man. Listen.
Hey, while we're listening to this, Mosh, I want to see if you pick up the same thing that I picked up here as we're listening to Charles.
Man, I know you've been working on this, man, night and day, man. I know your family been working on it night and day. I know y'all been hustling, man. Y'all been doing your thing, grinding, trying to get to this moment, and it's finally here. We're moving on to new horizons, man. We're going on to Las Vegas, and guess what? You're going to be a big part of the turnaround, man. So listen, come ready, come willing to work hard, make plays, and build your legend, man. Can't wait to get you in town, man, to Las Vegas, man, and take this thing to the next level. Chase, you got something for him?
Congratulations, Henry. I was really hoping you could go to the Raiders. You'll be a big part of the team.
Ooh, you heard that from my main man. That's my youngest right there. That's Chase, man. So congratulations. Chase, tell him congratulations again.
Congratulations.
My man, Silver and Black is waiting on you. Go Raiders.
All right, so aside from the cool factor of him being there with his kid, right?
Sure.
What's your biggest takeaway of that?
It's the old guys. It's the former players that are still touching bases with the new players.
Yeah.
It's the let's continue or rebuild the culture.
Absolutely.
And it just doesn't happen with other teams. I promise you.
No, I love it. The way that it's almost like full circle a lot of times.
Yep.
And absolutely, and how the Raiders continue to connect with their past. And, I don't think like Mark Davis or anybody else in the organization is lobbying for Charles Woodson to make videos. And so for him to do that is awesome. But I did have one other takeaway, though, Mosh.
Okay.
All right. Do you got your tally board? You got your tally pen ready?
Yeah, I got it. Go.
Okay. All right. I want you to count. Apparently, Charles Woodson was coached by John Gruden once upon a time, because there's only one person in the entire world that says the word man more than John Gruden, and that might be Charles Woodson.
Here we go.
Henry Ruggs, man, congratulations, man. And the 12th pick in the 2020 NFL draft, man. Listen, man, I know you've been working on this, man, night and day, man. And I know your family been working on it night and day. I know y'all been hustling, man. Y'all been doing your thing, grinding, trying to get to this moment, and it's finally here. We're moving on to new horizons, man. We're going on to Las Vegas, and guess what? You're going to be a big part of the turnaround, man. So, listen, come ready, come willing to work hard, make plays, and build your legend, man. Can't wait to get you in town, man, to Las Vegas, man, and take this thing to the next level. Chase, you got something for him?
Congratulations, Henry. I was really hoping you could go to the Raiders. You'll be a big part of the team.
Ooh, you heard that from my man. That's my youngest right there. That's Chase, man. So congratulations. Chase, tell him congratulations again.
Congratulations.
My man, Silver and Black is waiting on you. Go Raiders.
How many?
There's 15 mans. 15 mans in a minute and 32 seconds.
We're running out of time. My life is running out of lifespan.
Oh, my God. Isn't that funny? That's the best.
See Wood, man.
Oh, man. Oh, man. You're one of our favorites, man.
He's the best.
He's the best, man. All right,
so this guy,
okay,
former Raider, this guy, he didn't. Hey, Compton, are you listening?
Oh,
this guy didn't forget me.
Oh,
hey, this is Pete Koch, former Los Angeles Raider. Yeah, back in the old days, baby. And you're listening to Murf and Uncle Mosh, who happens to have the same hair as me. Check it out, Raiders Fan Radio.
Every kiss begins with Koch. Appreciate Pete Koch, and heck, if there's an alumni weekend. I snapped into my real world there. If there's an alumni weekend, jeez, that was weird. Can you do a Freudian thing with your job?
No.
Okay, good. So, so if there's an alumni weekend, then I will definitely catch up with Pete Koch again. All right, Mosh, one of our favorite segments here on Raiders Fan Radio. Actually, before I do that, let's go ahead and shout out the chat in there tonight at youtube.com/MurphsFanCave. Eye Patch is in there. Aaron the Q-Dog Raider. Killed Jadis. Running Bear. Damage Inc. Raider Nation Scotland. Sam Hain. Pirate 1975.
Raider and some. Full Metal Mexican.
Raider Joker. Michelle Sweat is in there. Awesome. Appreciate everyone joining. Tyrone Graves is in there. Appreciate everybody joining us. What about Lino, man?
Lino, are you there, Lino? Hey, what about
Full Metal Mexican? That's your favorite?
Yeah, he is. He's there. One? Yeah. And Herman Munster.
Oh,
can't forget Herman.
Kevin the Raider Nerd is in there.
Tyrone Graves. Hey, anybody hear from Coach? Coach and Haley?
No. A lot of folks, man.
A lot of people have been asking about that.
And I'll tell you another one that was asked about. When I read the Made Men and Women, when I read the rundown of all the folks that are made men and women, Johnny in San Diego I think he was the first one. It was either him or Jimmy Zebach. I can't remember, but we still trade paint with Jimmy on Twitter every once in a while. And I hear from a lot of the kind of the OG made men but we hadn't heard from Johnny in San Diego. So, and even Junior in San Diego will still check in once in a while. Hadn't heard from Johnny. And he was Johnny is old school.
Yeah, yeah. He's been around. Yeah.
The first couple months we were doing this show, Johnny in San Diego was one of our first regular contributors and callers to the show. All right, but let's jump into Raiders and pop culture. And I've got a couple of audio bites to play for you. But before that, Mosh has a visual Raiders and pop culture. Look at that.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm for my radio listeners, I'm holding up a picture of Jake the Snake Roberts, the wrestler, And Jake the Snake has got a T-shirt out that's the Raider shield, and it says Jake the Snake above it, and it's got a Raider helmet in it. So how do I know this? Because last night I was watching, I had him on the DVR, and I was watching Dark Side of the Ring. It's on the Vice network. It's got some really cool stuff on there. So Dark Side of the Ring, it's got a lot of stuff to do with wrestling, and so much of it back when you and I were really into it. We were hosting our events and all that stuff, and I did that promo with Dirty Dutch Mantel, and I brought that group into my school and all that stuff. And so a lot of the stuff that went on behind the scenes, they expose that and they talk about that, and and some of the stuff isn't very nice. It's kind of
raw and unfiltered.
It's raw and unfiltered. And then they have this show. It's called Dark Side of the Ring After Dark, and it's like they go on to talk about what they just saw, and they bring in a panel. And this panel was the episode about the Road Warriors, and so they brought Animal in, and they brought Dirty Dutch Mantel, and they brought Jake the Snake Roberts. And Jake was wearing this shirt, and all you could see was the top of the shield, and you could read Jake the Snake. And I'm yelling at the wife. I'm like, honey, wake up! Look, he's wearing a Raiders shirt. And she's like, what? Is the house on fire? And I'm like, she's like, what are you doing home? It's not Wednesday. Anyway, so it was cool. It was really cool. And and you can order those. If you want a Jake the Snake Roberts, and I'm giving him a free plug, but what the heck, man?
Shout out, no free shout outs.
No
they
free
say
shout outs,
with the boys, but
he's got his name in a Raider shield.
That's cool.
I'm saying he's a fan.
That's cool. And it's Jake's face with it's where the pirate is in the Raider logo. It's Jake's face, so he's got the mustache, and then instead of crossed swords, it's snakes behind him.
Yeah.
It's freaking cool, man.
It's really cool.
It's really cool. So I appreciate that, Uncle Moshi, bringing that one up. All right, so I've got one sent into us from a listener this week. This comes to us, becoming a frequent contributor here on Raiders Fan Radio, is Chris on Twitter. He is at Bourbon Raider, and Chris sent us a clip of a movie I've not watched yet, but I jumped onto Netflix to grab the audio portion of it, and this is Terry Crews, who Terry is like, I don't know, he's been on a million different commercials.
He's hosting like America's Got Talent or something.
Exactly. And he's a former NFL player, right? He played with like the Rams and the two LA teams that should be or that shouldn't be in LA, and where the Raiders maybe should be. But anyways, that said, so this is Terry Crews, and just to give you a quick little setup of it, again, I haven't seen the movie, but he's like working on a car, and there's another guy like sitting in it, like that's like working the ignition and stuff, whatever. And so they start having a conversation about the freaking Raiders. And so this is really cool. So shout out Bourbon Raider. Appreciate you sending this our way on Twitter.
You're a Raiders fan, huh?
Since the days of Marcus Allen.
Ha.
Used to sneak into games with my cousin when I was Berta's age.
My dad was a big Raiders fan too. Couldn't believe they brought two teams to LA and neither was a team that LA with.
Right? But they built a stadium in Inglewood was insult to injury. Won't let us have nothing.
For real.
I love that, man. They don't let us have nothing. You know what I mean? It's like Sonny always says, the whole world's against us, man, when it comes to the Raiders. So appreciate that, Bourbon Raider. That was a good one there, and I look forward to checking out the John Henry movie. All right, one more for Raiders and pop culture, and then we're going to get into the Sea of Fans mailbag. And speaking of frequent contributors to Raiders Fan Radio, Frank Caliendo is on this show more than Swag Jeff.
We need to get Caliendo on the show.
Oh my God! Why did I think of that?
We need to get Caliendo on the show. We need to get Jake. We need to do it like Raiders Fan Radio After Dark. We need to get Caliendo and Jake Roberts on the show.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that like when we first started, just a little inside baseball, when Sonny and I first started booking guests, one of the things we wanted to do was book people that were Raiders fans, like not book like necessarily athletes all the time, but book Raiders fans. Well, Caliendo clearly is a big time Raider fan nowadays, so we need to get him in here. I'm going to work on that. We're going to effort, as the kids say. So here's Frank Caliendo on Mother's Day. Much respect, Willie Brown, for his constant shout-outs, and Charles Woodson as well for the Raiders respecting the moms on Mother's Day. And Caliendo does a little a Twitter video of him and his daughter as two Grudens on Mother's Day.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, this is great.
Tell you what, man. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Yeah. What are you getting your mom for Mother's Day? You getting her flowers, man?
Flowers are too basic, man.
Yeah, man, plus delivery. You don't want to...
No. Can't say that.
Why not?
Gonna hurt the flower industry.
Oh, the flower delivering industry. We got to keep them going, man. That's right. All right.
Keep doing what you're doing, man.
So for Mother's Day, you got to get... That was pretty good, man. Keep doing what you're doing, flower industry. We love you over here in Gruden land. All right, so what do you get your mom for Mother's Day? Maybe give her a hug, or is that against social distancing as well?
Air high five, man.
Air high five. There you have it. Air high five for Mother's Day. I tell you what. All right, man.
Too close.
And that was his daughter?
It's his daughter.
She's great.
Yeah, she's probably like, I don't know, 14 maybe, something like that. Like, I'm guessing. I don't know. But, like, yeah, she's funny. Yeah, very good. Very good.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, good stuff there.
That is so cool.
All right, Uncle Mosh, let's go ahead and jump into Sea Fans Mailbag.
Is it that time?
It's that time, man.
There he is, baiting, looking. He's under the gun. He's caught, he throws. It is.
All right, so here on Raiders Fan Radio, we love to hear from our folks. And, of course, we're going to get into those that called, and we'll hear from the capo. But before we do that, we've got some emails to read. We got a plethora of emails to read. Let me get jumping in right here. Swaggy's not here tonight to mess him up, so I know he's listening. So, hey, Swaggo, let me show you how it's done. Hey, what's up, Murf? Swag Jeff, Uncle Mosh, and all of my fellow brothers and sisters of the Silver and Black Nation. It's Kajias. How's it going? You know what, Kajias? I'm going to have to get you to call in and tell me how to say your name. Kiljaedas. It's a great name. I wish I wasn't butchering it. Coming at you from Alaska. Yes, there are Raider fans here. Yes, there is internet here. And no, we don't plug our internet cable into a moose's behind to get reception or have a polar bear run on a giant hamster wheel while dragging a raw piece of caribou to get electricity. I'm one of the lesser-known Raider fans that puts out Raider videos. And I almost thought that I should make a video of this and post it. But I instead wanted to put this to you all. We are fans here in Alaska and have ice in our veins, and our hatred for other teams runs deeper than the Pacific Ocean. Deeper than the tub of pudding that Andy Reid probably had after winning the Super Bowl. Hashtag, who's fat?
Oh, wait. Oh, no, you keep going. I'll find it.
Fat of the week.
Says he's fat.
Who's fat?
Andy Reid. Deeper than John Elway's love for himself and his buck-toothed donkey face, and deeper than
Oh, man, I love this guy.
This is terrible. And this one's bad.
Oh, no.
And deeper than Phillip Rivers' pullout game. Now, in Alaska.
Oh, no.
Now in Alaska, there's somewhat a wide range of different fans. You have some Packers, some Vikings, Niners, Cowboys, Broncos, and, of course, a few Raider fans. But we all hate one team here in Alaska the most. One team whose fans were never, rewind that and hit play, never around until the team got good. I'm talking about those sucky, sufferable, second-class, seasonal, that they are, Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to say that again just for Jeff. I'm talking about those sucky, sufferable, second-class seasonals that are the Seattle Seahawks.
What's up, English major?
They were never around back in the day. Never saw a Seahawk fan growing up in the 90s. Trying to find a Sea-Cluck fan in Alaska was like finding a nucleus of sanity in Antonio Brown's brain. Hashtag FAB. You were just not going to find one. Then all of a sudden, the Sequacks made it to the Super Bowl and lost to the Squealers.
This killed Jadis?
Yes.
This is awesome.
Much like the way Big Ben Worthlessburger got tackled short of the goal line, picked up the ball, and put it in the end zone. So, too, were the emergence of the 12th man movement when it sprouted out in Alaska and claimed that they were always here. It just suddenly overnight happened when Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, and company started making the playoffs constantly. Overnight, my state that had no pro league team except for the late Alaska Aces hockey team, RIP, had adopted this team from Seattle as if they had always been there, that they were always fans of this team, and that they'd been fans of this sector of suckiness since the beginning.
Sector of suckiness.
Oh, my gosh. He's
That's
so funny.
So funny.
But riddle, it goes on. Page 2.
Oh, okay, page 2.
But riddle me this. Name 2 or more quarterbacks that played on the Sea Chickens before Russell Wilson.
Jim Zorn and John Kitna.
Name a few RBs before Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, gosh. Sean Alexander.
Name a Hall of Famer that was a Seattle Seasucker. Was his team always a part of the NFC West? You present these questions to them, and they can't tell you.
Steve Largent.
Bandwagoners, who lot of them except maybe a handful. The constant waving of the 12th flag is a stain of savagery. The arrogance of the constant domination without knowing your past is like scratching a chalkboard with your nails. I give those who admit that they are new fans a break. After all, they need to be like a real fan and look up their history. They need to know about being a lesser AFC West rival, being under the gun of Matt Hasselbeck and Trent Dilfer, handing the rock to Sean Alexander, and having a defensive stud like the boss, Brian Bosworth, a.k.a. Bose Beep.
Yeah.
I'm a Raider fan, and even I know these players. The fact is, they need to stop and remember their past and realize that things were not how they are now. Another sick, self-serving song that these seacucks like to sing in the claim of territory, which I find to be sinful. They expect that if you are here in Alaska, you have to be a Sea Chick fan, and they don't hide their disdain for you. The way they look at you, the way their eyes flare with smut at the thought that there is a foreign enemy on their soil. My reply is to say, it's that with a B. Alaska is neutral ground, much like how it is in Wyoming, Mississippi, Montana, Virginia, and other states. And let's not forget other countries. You may lay claim to a certain state if that's where your city is, but you cannot lay claim to other states outside the Raider Nation. The Raider Nation is a worldwide nation, but we do not claim states, we claim the people. It's the people who are the nation, and yet here they are with their sickly sneers, thinking they are entitled to something. H to the E to the...
You took out Mosh with that one.
Oh, my gosh. I'm dying over here. I'm wanting to laugh. H to the E to the double L to the N to the O. You can't take away what I became the moment I popped out of the womb. And you can't lay claim to what's not yours. So let me ask you all in the chat, Murph, Jeff, Mosh, and all the Raider Nation that live outside the motherlands of California and now Nevada. What have you ever had to pull out with as a Raider fan on the outside? What fan bases have been the most annoying to you? Thank you for your time in reading this email. Catch you later. Bye.
Nice job, Kill Jadis. Dang, man. He brought thunder on that one, man. Great job.
Good job, buddy.
Wow, that was awesome. So quickly, just to answer the question there, what fan bases bug me, Mosh? Well, I'll give you a regional one, and then I'll give you an overall one and tie it back up to the Raiders. So, growing up, I was not a college football fan. Growing up in the Bay Area, we had Stanford and Cal. I did not have any family members nor any other direct affiliations to either one of those colleges, aside from, sadly, John Elway or Marshawn and Aaron Rodgers coming through Cal. Like there wasn't they weren't like prominent programs. But then when I moved to the South, then I really got and understood what college football was all about. And I'm not poo-pooing on the college team in your area, wherever you are. But if you're not in an SEC city or an SEC region, I'm sorry, you don't get it, because it's a whole nother world down here. It's literally like a religion. And when I got down here and saw that firsthand, was also right around the time that UT won their national championship, post Peyton Manning. This was T. Martin. This was, and it was just insane. And at that point, it really resonated with me. So all that said, being a resident of Tennessee drives me nuts. Alabama fan. Can't stand him. And I work with a diehard Alabama fan, and I got a lot of respect for him because he's been an Alabama fan his whole life. But people that live in Tennessee, were born in Tennessee, and are Alabama fans, I'm like, what the hell's the matter with you? Like, that's your rival. That should be Georgia and Alabama and Florida. And you should despise these teams. And for people that live here and throw Roll Tide around with their Tennessee license plate, stop it. It drives me crazy. So that, and then I'll give you one more, the Chiefs fans, because no one
don't even get
like Kiljadis was talking about there. Like Kiljadis was talking about there, that name me a quarterback before Patrick Mahomes or even Alex Smith or whatever. Mosh, when we were at the draft last year here in Nashville, I'm not kidding. You couldn't find a Derek Thomas jersey.
Nope.
You couldn't find a Tony Gonzalez jersey.
You and Q and I tried to find anything other than
Kermit the
Frog.
Everybody owns a Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, so you just became a fan. Don't tell me you've been a fan for a million years. We're in your crispy 15. I don't buy it, man. So anyways, Chiefs fans that are now they're especially, they're coming out of the woodwork. I can't stand them. What do you got, Mosh?
Yo, what's up, Murph, Swaggy, and the one and only Uncle Mosh. Hope all is well and everyone is safe and in good spirits. I come to you today with a few things on my mind. First, I'll start with the schedule release. Of course, we already knew who we were playing, but now we have an order. With 4 primetime games, you can tell the NFL is looking to show off the stadium. You can also tell that they are looking to make huge financial gains. When the schedule came out, I went over to Ticketmaster to grab tickets for a game in our new stadium, the Death Star. Immediately, I realized I might have to sell an organ or two. I guess the only home game I will be attending is our second new stadium in Inglewood.
Nice.
I mean, how nice of the NFL to give us 2 homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Hold on. I'm going to cut you off. That's an interesting thought, Mosh, because all of us that are Raider fans and are at least loosely connected with the Los Angeles Raiders history understood that they moved 2 teams to Oakland, and just like in that Raiders and Pop Culture clip, they moved the wrong teams to Los Angeles. I meant LA, excuse me. They moved the wrong teams to Los Angeles. There is a much bigger Raider contingent in Los Angeles than the Rams or Chargers combined. And that's literal now.
Yeah.
The Raiders have sold more season tickets in Vegas than both of the LA teams combined. And so it's just fascinating to me that was such a huge oversight for the NFL. Sorry.
You're all right. I left off with how nice of the NFL to give us 2 new stadium in Inglewood, our second new stadium in Inglewood. Excuse me. I mean, how nice of the NFL to give us 2 homes. I wonder if the dead batteries realize they have 16 road games. Well, that's none of my business. With all the money I save, at least I can get some more Domenicos.
Nice.
After originally predicting that we start 2-4 and finishing 10-7, I decided to actually use my brain and not my fandom. Raiders finish this just in, 17-0. Let's go! See you in Tampa. Sincerely, 2-time Made Man, 1-time Sizzler Award winner, Ta-da, Raider!
Nice job, Ty. I love that, man. 2-time Made Man, only guy ever. You have made twice on this. Did you hear that? Oh my gosh, man, that was great. What? Were you here for that one?
I think I was.
Oh, okay, all right, good. I'll lose track.
Yeah, your attendance policy with your co-hosts, it's very liberal.
Well, it was me last week. I was by myself. That's how much you can't keep up when you're here. I can't keep up when you're both not here either. I was here by myself when we made tie the second time. You were here when we made tie the first time. I'm surprised I haven't stifled myself yet.
I got you.
Will you stifle
thank you.
yourself?
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Hello, RFR family. Well, the new schedule was released, and I'm so hyped for the season because football is back. And we're ready to take back what's ours. Gruden is going to have his team ready to go kick-ass global pandemic or not. And now for my win and loss totals. Week 1 at the Panthers. Win. The Panthers are rebuilding. They released Cam and lost Luke Kuechly. Yes, they have speed at wide receiver and a stud at running back, but I think Teddy struggles in his first game back as a full-time starter. Week 2 versus the Aints. Monday Night Football. Win.
Oh.
Monday Night Football. First game in Vegas. First game in the Death Star. Enough said. The Raiders take care of business at home. Week 3 at the Patriots. Win. No Brady, no problem. The Patriots didn't plan for life after Tom Brady, and the Raiders are going to make them pay for it. Week 4 versus the Bills. Loss. I have us losing to the Bills because they are a super talented team loaded on both sides of the ball. If the Raiders come to play, they can make the game interesting, but I think the Bills are more talented than us. Week 5 at Kansas City. Win.
Oh, my gosh.
Finally, a time where it's not 5 degrees with a wind chill of -5 degrees. This is the game where D.C. finally gets the monkey off his back.
Hope so.
And we show Kansas City we're coming for them.
Come on.
Week 6, bye. At the halfway point, we are 4-1. I don't know where he does math. Sorry, Marcus. This is DC's team, and he's our QB for the rest of the season.
He will be if they're 4-1.
Week 7 versus the Buccaneers. Sunday Night Football.
Huge.
Win. Sunday Night Football. Let's show Tom Brady he ain't beep without the Patriots win on 3-1-2-3 win. Week 8 at the Broncos. Win.
Oh, my gosh.
Ohio, the Browns suck. We know. The Browns are a dumpster fire. Yes, they are going to be better. Did I say Broncos?
Yeah.
I meant Browns. Excuse me. Ohio, the Browns suck. We know. The Browns are a dumpster fire. Yes, they are going to be better this year, but I don't see them beating us. End of story. Week 9 at the Chargers. Win. Home game number 8. Let's show the chokers. It doesn't matter where in L.A. they play. It belongs to Raider Nation.
Amen.
Week 10 versus the Broncos. Win. The Broncos are rebuilding still, even though they may have solved their QB woes and they drafted one of the top wide receivers. They still need a lot more to be able to be scary good. Week 11 versus the Chiefs. Sunday Night Football.
Huge.
Win.
We're going to sweep the Chiefs.
This is it. Everything we want is in front of us. Let's clinch the division right here in front of the nation. Win on 3-1-2-3 win. This is the game
oh my gosh,
where we take the crown from them, and suddenly their fan base disappears because they realize the Raiders are back. I think we win the game on a Damon Arnett pick 6 to end the game.
Oh, I love it.
Week 12 at Atlanta. Loss.
Oh, shoot, the one that we go to.
I know. The Falcons haven't truly recovered from losing the Super Bowl. You can tell, however, they still have Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. That's why I have us losing. Week 13 at Jets. Win.
So wait, David Arnett's going to shut down Tyreek Hill, but not Julio Jones is going to ball on. Okay. All right. I'm with you.
All right. Week 13 at Jets. Win. Last year was a fluke. Time to go in and punch the Jets right in the mouth.
Okay.
Week 14 versus the Colts. Win. They may have signed Rivers and they still have Ty, but we are going to beat them. Week 15 versus Chargers. Thursday Night Football. Win! The Chargers come in beaten and bruised, realizing that maybe letting go of Rivers was a bad idea. The Raiders whooped the Chargers' ass again. Week 16.
Let me guess. Win.
Versus the Dolphins. Win! Tua's going to be a great quarterback, hands down, but he's still a rookie and will make mistakes. I think that is what cost the Dolphins a win in Vegas. Week 17 at Denver.
Okay.
Loss.
Oh, because we don't have nothing to play for.
I have us losing in Denver because the playoff ticket and division is punched. No need to risk injuring the starters. Final tally, 13-3, AFC Western Division champions. Hope you all enjoyed my season breakdown. This is number one Raiders fan, Daniel Mangus from Fremont, California, signing out. Peace.
Oh, my gosh. That was so funny. Great job, Daniel. Appreciate it.
You better hear from his brother.
Well, because I've got his brother right here. So, and in Pirate 1975 in the chat, so many in the chat. Kevin the Raider Nerd is in there. Mojo, what's up, Mojo? Chucktown Raider, Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, Carl Rogers, Sam Hain, Herman Munster, Dave Offler is in there. Appreciate all of you joining us live, youtube.com/Murph's Fan Cave. And yeah, Pirate 1975, he's in there because, and he's given me a little bit of a challenge. He gave it to me last year on Mondays with Mikey and Murph. He said, if the Raiders beat the Chiefs, Murph, will you rap? And I said, yes, I will. And so Pirate 1975, yeah, in that fridge, yeah. Pirate 1975 thinks that we're going to beat the Chiefs and that I'll be rapping. And if Daniel Mangus is correct, I'll be rapping twice. All right, so his brother, Matthew, says, hello, RFR family. This is Matthew Mangus from Fremont, California, and I am emailing you guys to discuss the Raiders. First off, the draft was amazing, and I really believe we improved on both sides of the ball, and I can't wait to see our new-look team. Second, I full-heartedly believe that the Raiders will improve on their 7-9 season, and I only see them struggling against the Chiefs in the division. The two other teams in the West are very beatable. I agree with you. I'm not saying I got a favorite to win, but I'm just saying I like Matthew's take on this thing so far. Ooh, is that controversial? And there's also been speculation that there's a lot of like perceived controversies, Mosh, like is Stevie Wonder really blind or like whatever, like
watch the video,
right? There's all these like fun things. So there was one out there in RFR land that is like, is there really two Mangus twins? Like, is there, or is it the same guy?
I don't believe there is.
Okay, but I heard them both on Mojo's pod show, so I think so. And so anyway, so Matthew,
were they talking at the same time?
Yes, they were talking over each other.
Yeah, you know how? Because there's a thing called a recorder.
Oh, you think so?
I'm just saying this. I'm just saying.
What about, so like UFOs, like the parallel universe that exists in Antarctica?
No. I'm
there's
talking
only
about
one Mangus person. Like
there's
what?
only one Mangus. Just like you've never seen Leon Redbone and Frank Zappa in the same room. They're the same person. Go look them up.
Oh my gosh. Crack me up.
You've never seen me and Rob Ryan in the same restaurant.
No, well, because you are the same person. Mm-hmm. All right, so I hope everyone in Raider Nation and the world is staying safe from COVID. Appreciate you, man. The world is going to be a very different place when this pandemic is over, and I just hope fear doesn't take over. I don't think so, my friend. I think we're on the rebound already. Take care and stay safe, Raider family. Yours truly, Matthew Mangus, proud made man, diehard Raider fan since 2001. Thank you. Appreciate you, Matthew.
Yeah, don't give him from 1926 or something because
like swag.
Yeah. Because he said his brother said earlier that he's only 24.
Wait, what?
In the chat when you said, "Oh yeah, there's all these 47-year-old guys,"
and
he chimed in, "Oh, I'm only 24."
Which one said that?
It doesn't matter. There's only one.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what your age is. All right, Mosh, what we got next?
Evening, fellas. Hope everybody's okay. So what happened since the last RFR Live? New additions to the roster with Devontae Booker and Prince Amakamara, adding some experience and depth. The 2020 schedule has been announced. And Will Compton, baby, we finally wore him down. It was a great interview. It seems like a really genuine guy, and I wish him well for the future, providing he chooses his next team carefully. If you want to persuade anybody else to come on the show, all you got to do is ask. I need some clarification on a BRT Sizzler matter. A few weeks
Okay,
ago,
all right.
during episode 165, Uncle Mosh awarded the BRT Sizzler to the main men hit squad.
Yes.
There were 7 of you involved in the squad, so I was left with the option of splitting an award 7 ways.
Okay.
That's 0.14 of an award each.
Okay.
Or awarding everybody an individual award. Also, let me just say, we don't do participation-ship trophies.
No.
Also, eligibility is a factor, as Capo and Big Raider Trucker are ineligible.
Right.
And I'm assuming Murf, Swaggo, and Sonny are as well.
Correct.
Which leaves Raider Ramon and Ron as the winners for the week. That's why he's in charge of that.
That's why he runs the show.
That's why.
Good
Duh.
call. Yes.
I think one award each is the way to go. But as we live in a democracy, we may live in a democracy, but this is not part of a democracy. This is like, you know what I mean? It's
so,
like,
hey. So between you and Paulie, you guys got this.
Hey, Paulie, I got your back. Whatever you say goes.
Deal.
After your predictions, okay, so, yeah, they get one apiece. There it is.
All right.
After your predictions for the season on last week's RFR rundown, here's my take on the season ahead. Week 1.
Okay.
Here we go, boys and girls.
Is this Paul Menges?
Yeah. All right, here we go. Week 1. By the way, Mojo, I'm in.
So what?
Mojo on the chat says, I want Uncle Mosh to be the master of ceremonies at my Navy retirement. I'm in.
Oh,
you tell me when and where,
really?
I'm there, my brother.
Dude,
Week
how
what?
awesome would that be?
Heck yeah. We'll all go.
Yeah.
Week 1, Carolina, win. Week 2, New Orleans, loss.
Yeah.
Week 3, New England, loss.
Mm-hmm.
Week 4, Buffalo, win.
Ooh.
Week 5, Kansas City, loss.
Yeah.
Week 6, bye. Week 7,
Yes.
Tampa Bay, win.
Nice.
Week 8, Cleveland, win. Week 9, LA Chargers, win.
Yeah.
Week 10, Denver, win.
Mm-hmm.
Week 11, Kansas City,
Oh.
win.
Oh! At home.
Week 12, where we are, Atlanta, win.
Yes.
Week 13, New York Jets, loss.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one.
Week 14, Indianapolis, win.
Yeah, we got them.
Week 15, LA Chargers, win.
Home game.
Week 16, Miami, win.
Yep.
Week 17, lost to the Donks. So,
I can dig it.
I have us at 11-5. Optimism always hits at this time of year, and I'm prepared to be shot down as the season progresses. Here's why I think it's possible. Firstly, if the division, I have us 4-2. I think we'll split the games against the Queefs and the Donkeys. I'd like to think we'll be resting when we go to the land of the talking horse in Week 17, and the games against LA's third favorite team out of 2 will be comfortable. As for the rest of the opening 5 games are tough, but as long as we stop McCaffrey and Carolina, we'll be good. And I think playing the Bills early will be a benefit to us as we'll catch them cold and before they get their rhythm. They're my dark horse for a good run at the Super Bowl this year.
No.
That's just something to be said.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll win close, one of the Falcons, but the Jets will be tough for us again. There's no way we'll lose against the Colts. Now they'll run for their children. Farmer in Miami may as well not turn up. I read that wrong. Anyway, this is all subject to review, of course, but right now we're at the point of the offseason where I choose to believe we are pretty much invincible. Playoffs, baby. I agreed with your take on the possibilities surrounding DC and Marcus Mariota, and it's realistic observation, given the strength of the opposition in the first 5 games, that a change could be made at QB if the record is 1-4 going into the bye week. Time will tell, but one thing is for sure. If we see a slow start, we can't be hearing the same excuses from DC, and we as fans can't be having the same discussions about the same issues. Something would have to change, and for the first time, the changes on the sideline suited up. We will have to believe that this will bring a positive response from DC, and let's hope so. Get angry at the constant speculation, DC. Come on, fella. We all want to see you light up Vegas.
Come on.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Love and best wishes to the RFR family. Stay safe, everybody. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, Paul Edgerton, Shropshire, Mississippi. Pauly Award winner 2019. BRT Sizzler scorekeeper. Proud made man. Five-time winner of the Raiders Fan Radio BRT Sizzler Award.
Paul.
Paul, your name Paul?
Paul.
I met him with Paul. Who? Paul.
Paul, yes, Paul.
Paul's not here. Hey, Paul. Paul.
Hi. I'm Paul.
Appreciate Paul and all of our emailers tonight. And you can contact the show anytime by sending us an email, show@RaidersFanRadio.com. And if we play, play your email on the show. I'm a mess. Anyway, so appreciate you and email us anytime. And if we read your email an indefinite amount of times, you can become a made man or a made woman. Hey, so real quick. So on Paul's email, he mentioned the signing of Prince Amukamara, which I think is a really clutch signing for the Raiders to lock up our secondary and our corners. So we hadn't really talked about it on the show yet because the contract details hadn't come out yet. So Amukamara's contract with the Raiders, he gets a $50,000 signing bonus, nothing. $1 million in base salary. Week 1, he gets $87,000 as a roster bonus. So the total cap charge is $887,000.
That's it?
That's it, which is like the veteran salary benefit. So it's excellent value for the Raiders, and it's really a chance for Amukamara to play a prominent role. I think he's like 30, like he's getting to be that age, but they were seeking that veteran presence with the defensive backs, and now we finally landed on the guy, and so look forward to seeing Amukamara wear the silver and black, so that should be good going forward. All right, Mosh, also you can email the show or you can call us at 909-345-3346.
Oh, my gosh.
What?
We didn't do contact info ever.
No, we missed that at the top. You want to play it now?
Yeah, why not? Because I didn't do it either when I was getting ready to go to start reading. We were a smidge out of sync on that.
Well, we're all over the place tonight.
Yeah, we're having fun.
Yeah, go ahead, hit your button.
I don't have it.
You don't have contact info?
All right, boys and girls, pay attention. You got your old Uncle Mosh here with an update. That's right. I got some stuff for you. Take out a piece of paper, a pencil, a pen. Heck, use your pocket knife and carve the info into your dashboard as you're driving down the highway. First off, you need to like us on our fan page on Facebook. That's right. Go to Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. Don't forget about the Twitter. You know your old Uncle Mosh, he twits now. That's right. Go to at Raiders Fan Radio. Also, don't forget the Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about our website? That's right, RaidersFanRadio.com. Heck, if you want to, you can even email us, show@RaidersFanRadio.com, or call us on the Raiders Fan Radio hotline, 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. Don't forget Murf's Fan Cave on the YouTube, where you can get all the show links like the Fan Club Blitz with Splatterhead and Fitz. Find all our stuff on podcast providers like Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Play. All right, did I hit the time limit? Good.
So, hey, yeah, so send us an email, send us a voicemail, and at the end of this segment, Uncle Mosh will award the Sizzler Award, the BRT Sizzler Award, to the best phone call or email of the week. And so the leader of the made men and the made women is the Capo. We call him Capo. He is Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, and he always leads off our voicemail segment.
Greetings, Don Murf, Consigliere Mosh, Underboss Sonny, Sergeant at Arms, the Sizzler, Big Raider Trucker, Mojo from the Pie Show, Ramon the Meme King, Swag Jeff, Nation, it's Aaron, the Q-Dog Raider coming from the great state of Texas. First respect to former First Lady of Kentucky, Miss America, and sports broadcasting legend Phyllis George, who passed away at the tender age of 70 in my hometown of Lexington. And speaking of Kentucky, let's go back to talking about Lynn Bowden. Go and take a deeper dive as to how we arrived at drafting him in the third round. Lynn Bowden entering the draft was somewhat of an enigma. Let's think about this for a second. Some even thought of him as a jack of all trades, master of none, or even a gadget player as he's been labeled since we took him on board. But listen, let's go ahead and take that deeper dive like I talked about and hear from John Gruden on his assessment, having met Bowden at the NFL Combine. He passed with flying colors whenever they had their encounter, and Gruden was quoted as saying that I remember putting up a play on the board for Bowden, and we put in a concept, and we told him what we have all five guys doing in that concept. Then we say Derek might audible out of that and tell me what the five guys are going to do. Then we'd erase the board, talk about other things, and then Bowden would get up on the board, and we put the concept back up. Bowden would have to illustrate what the five guys would do, and then redirect after we said what Derek may audible to, and he hit it out of the park according to Chucky. Bowden's offensive expertise showed Gruden that he can learn difficult positions quickly at the next level. He sees the football. He understands football concepts. He's a quarterback in the SEC, so he does know how to operate at the line of scrimmage. He had to recognize defenses. He had to communicate. Bowden's physical abilities played a role in the stupid 2019 stat line, 185 carries for 1,468 yards, 7.9-yard average, and 13 yards, 403 passing yards, and 3 touchdowns, 30 receptions for 348 yards and 1 touchdown. But his exceptional football IQ made him a commodity the Raiders felt compelled to take in the third round. How about those draft trades now? But anyway, remember the fourth round of the 2019 NFL draft. The Raiders nabbed exciting quarterback out of Houston, size, 4.40 speed, Isaiah Johnson with the 129th pick. Looking forward to seeing him. Unfortunately, last year we didn't get to see much of him because of a mishap that he had with Markel Lee in the first preseason game. But this kid will contribute. This one is from Murf. Lucas Sornata of LastWordOnFootball.com recently wrote a listing of the funnest players for each NFL franchise to watch. Of course, it was number 12, Kenny Stabler, and he typed, Snake was more than just a quarterback, as he knew how to get people to like him and have fun. Just the fact of all the highlights of his having a name, the sea of hands, goes to the post, the holy rolling, shows how fun it was to watch. The Snake shows how fun he was to watch on the field. A new era in Raiders football history begins August 27, 2020. That's right. The RFR tailgate goes to Vegas, baby. So we may not make it inside, but we are going to make sure that we set it off in the parking lot. So go ahead and get your reservations in early. Make your treks, but there are no excuses. And speaking of excuses, the hit list. Cornerback Nick Nelson. And, you know, the dormant hashtag cut the Nelsons is back again. He's gone. Plus, I want to go ahead and put up virtually the entire 2018 draft class, with the exception of Maurice Hurst and possibly Colton Miller. But P.J. Hall, Brandon Parker, Arden Key, and Marcel Aitman, hey, man, they all getting that double tap, baby. This goes out to the made men with respect to B-Dog in a pasture. Where are you, kid? Raider-born Rico, Haley from Scotland, Watts Raider, Sugar Shane, Bobby Wasabi, Raider Homer, Splatterhead, Potts Fitz, His Lordship, Paul from Shropshire, Mississippi, Eye Patch, Rev Raider, Kevin the Raider Nerd, Running Bear, Coach Davis, Raider Lim, Big Easy Raider, Raider 1975, Fabricator Gill, Y.O. Raider, Dead Scrolls Steve from H-Town. You got so many names, baby. Hardcore Raider and Ron Alliance for Mater Rayton. Rue.
Oh, man, love it. He's the best, man. There's a reason he's the capo right there. I love it. So, hey, you know, he mentioned Maurice Hurst. Mosh, I got a little preview here.
Okay.
Want to hear it?
What's up, everyone? This is Maurice Hurst with the Las Vegas Raiders, and you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio with Murf, Mosh, and Swag Jeff. Just win, baby. Thanks.
How about that?
Nice.
Isn't that cool?
Nice.
Isn't that cool? The big man's on board. And so Aaron mentioned, so the home opener is September 21st.
Right.
And so tickets are just goofy. I mean, it's like literally like
what are nosebleeds?
Like a $600, I think, was the cheapest one I've seen. I think it's up from there. So we're going to be there that weekend, though. I went on and, you know, you and I were talking the other night about going to Tunica. And so Tunica was booked up for the time that we wanted to be there. And so I'm like, well, let me see what Vegas looks like for this portion of September when the Raiders happen to be having their home opener. And I got comped for 3 nights in Vegas. the weekend of the Raiders home, or I say weekend, it's the Monday night game.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
So I'm going to fly out Thursday. Wait, was that right? No, fly out. No. I'm messing it all up. I'm flying out Sunday. I'm staying Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, coming home on Wednesday. And because the Beatles Love has a show available on Tuesday night.
Nice.
So I'm going to go to the Raiders on Monday night and then go to the Beatles Love on Tuesday. And so anyway, so I'm going to be there. Max is coming with me. Max. And so we're going to go. So we're going to be there. I don't know if we're going to go to the game. I mean, if there's as I was telling her, I'm like, we've gotten invites, and I'm not lobbying for anything. Please don't mistake it as that. We've gotten invites just about every single year we've been doing this show. Sure. People will reach out to us and be like, hey, I got an extra ticket. And so I was telling her, I'm like, if something like that were to happen, like we would be down. But outside of that, like, I'm just cool with, like, I want to be in Vegas, want to be in the environment,
right,
hanging
absolutely.
out with Aaron and all the made men and everybody there.
Yep.
You know, we'll doing the tailgate. As I mentioned, we'll be sitting in with Cody on his show live from the Stage Door Casino before the game starts. Like, we're going to be in all of that, whether we go to the game or not, I don't know, but definitely Raider Nation. Like, for those of you that are in our listening audience and are going to be in Vegas for that opening weekend, like, let's all stay in touch, man. Let's link up, man. It's going to be a really, really good time out there. And you know, unfortunately, that's your school, like, just you're fully kicking in that first
I'm
week.
4.5 weeks into it. There's no way I can get out.
There's no way. And it's a Monday night game. So I'm like, Mosh is probably out no matter what on that thing. So, but anyways, but for those of you that are going to make it, definitely look us up, and look forward to linking up with you down there. And so Mojo, and shout out Mojo, no free shout outs. Mojo has set up his new tailgate crew. He's calling it the New Raider World Order, like very much like the NWO, like for life, right? And so he's got the New Raider World Order set up. Going to have big tailgate set up down there, and really just can't wait to see what Mojo's going to make out of this. And so, speaking of Mojo, he called into the show this week.
Murf, Mosh, Swaggy J, made men, women, your boy Mojo calling and checking in. I've been radio silent for a couple weeks, man, getting a lot done around the house before this crazy season gets ready to start. Hey, enough about me. I know what you want to hear, man. We want to talk about Raiders stuff. Well, here's what I'm going to say. I caught the Will Compton interview, okay? I thought it was great. Here's my concern. Man, Murf, Swag, man, you guys were dropping F-bombs like you were on my show. Settle down a little bit, guys. All right? We don't want anybody getting the wrong opinion here, wrong idea.
They were beeped.
Hey, I'm still fired up about what we did in the draft, man. Henry Rhodes III, speed kills, let's go. Can't wait to see everybody at the NRWO tailgate, first game of the season. That second game, the Rams game, preseason, is going to be my birthday. If you can get out there, come on through, man. I'm going to throw down. If not, I'll see everybody at the Saints game. Love your show. Keep it up, boys. Mojo out.
All right, appreciate you, Mojo. Yeah, so definitely look for the New Raider World Order tailgating there for the home opener. And also, Mosh, so we are, though, I said we're going to go to Vegas, or I'm going to go to Vegas for the home opener, but we for sure will be in Atlanta.
Yep.
Like, that will be a thing, and I've talked to Cody. Cody, I think, is going to try to come out. We've talked to a lot of the other made men. It's a little bit of a teaser because we haven't locked down any plans. Ideally, I'd love to have the made men here in the fan cave on the Friday before the game. We'll head down to Atlanta on Saturday, go to the game on Sunday, and then folks will probably fly out from there or from on Monday, whatever the case may be. But that weekend should be a big weekend, not only for the Raiders, but for us here in Raiders Fan Radio. It should be a lot of fun because I definitely know that, a lot of folks are coming out to be here for that. And so we're going to try to link up and have like an RFR event around it. And you'll hear more from that later here as we come up some really cool stuff we're going to get to in a second in terms of that game.
Moj just posted, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but Moj just posted that the NRWO tailgate will be exactly what you're looking for. Oakland style with a Vegas twist.
Love it. Well, hey, and we know Mojo can put on a tailgate.
Yeah, buddy.
He hooked us up
buddy.
last year,
He hooked
man.
us up. Some of the best food I've ever eaten.
Oh, it was awesome.
And I've
Those
eaten
breakfast
everything.
Breakfast tacos
We're
the freaking bomb, man.
Yeah, he's like,
so
well,
good.
we're just waiting to get started. Let's just, okay. And then just whips these out. And I'm like, oh, my gosh.
It was legit. It was so good. All right, next up in the callers, we've got a message from our buddy Eyepatch.
Hey, Murf, Mosh, Swaggy J, Capo. Eyepatch calling in. First of all, Murf, I just want to say thank you for the acknowledgement of my uncle 2 weeks ago. You mentioned it on your show. It meant a lot to me. Just sitting around here trying to flip through these channels. I got the week off, and I tell you the truth, I can't take any more of this Michael Jordan and Last Dance. I mean, he was a great player, but for the love of God, enough is enough. We need sports back soon, man, because I can't take another watching these talking heads, these pundits on TV. It just goes over and over and over about this Last Dance and him. I'd rather watch paint dry than watch any more of this crap. So I started reading books. I finished Badasses, the John Madden book with about the Raiders back in the day, and I started reading They Call Me Assassin now. It's a Jack Tatum book. And that's a good read. I'm about 110 pages in, and I wish every one of our defensive backs would read that book because, you look at him and everybody thinks he was just a vigilant hitter out there and penalty guy. But if you read what he's about, man, it was just about punishment, but he never wanted to, get any penalties. It's all he ever talked about was not being penalized and hurting the defense. He just wanted to hit hard and it's a really good book. I mean, the passion this guy had about playing football. Like I said, I wish all our defensive backs would read it because I'm a little wary about our defensive backfield this year. They're very young and, without any, camps and these guys got to gel, man. And they're all like 1 or 2 year guys. I know they got Mukamara now and they got that other dude from Cleveland, but, they don't know the system yet. So letting Joseph go, I think might hurt us this year because, without him, Conley and Worley, they let them three go and they knew the system and they were veterans. These guys are all 1 and 2 year guys. I'm a little nervous about it. I'm tired of watching 3rd and 12, 3rd and 18 and constantly get completed against us. So let me know what your thoughts are on that, guys, because that's a big concern of mine going into this year, that defensive backfield. All right, guys, have a good day, man. Peace out. Raider Nation, love you all. Bye.
Yeah, so I'm actually pretty encouraged about our defensive backfield. I mean, I feel like we're finally building to beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs have a very distinct skill set in terms of their skill position players. And when you got to keep up with Mecole Hardman and Tyreek Hill and these guys, like I finally feel like we've got some players that can contest them. And I forget who it was that I heard say it. It was one of the national analysts. Like, there's a really good way to stop speed, and that's to beat it up. Like, and we have such physical players now in our secondary that going back to the whole Tatum thing, like he was talking about, like you may not be able to run stride for stride with a lot of guys, but if you challenge them at the line of scrimmage, if you redirect them, if you take them off their routes, like there's a really good way to combat that. And I think that's what the Raiders are essentially building. Now, does that mean that it's going to be successful? I don't know. Remains to be seen, but I like the direction. I like the idea of what we're trying to do, like a physical man-to-man corner like Arnett, right?
Well, and some of those guys that we played back in the day, Lenny Swann didn't like to get touched.
Right.
Right. So the first thing we do is smack him in the mouth off the line, take him out of his game. Rice didn't like to get touched.
No.
And that was the only way to stop these guys, these superstars.
Get in their face, man. Chuck them at the line of scrimmage. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. And I feel like that's what the Raiders are doing, man. So and then you bring in like a vet like a Mukamara. So like, with young players, if they're playing aggressive, if they're playing physical, you run the risk of contact violations and flags and all that. Well, then you got a guy like a Mukamara that can like talk them through that. Like, here's what you can get away with. Here's when you can hold back. Here's what you know what I mean? Like, so I think I love the direction of the team and I love the direction of the secondary. And then one quick little note on the Jordan documentary. I was all in on this thing early. Then I found out that it was produced by Jordan. It was like directed by Jordan, like all the content's approved by Jordan. And while the idea of like the greatness of Jordan is not lost on me, and I still think he's the greatest basketball player of all time, the whole idea of like this series though, it did kind of wear out a little bit. Like it kind of petered out. Like at first, the first like 2 or 3 episodes, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then now here, like I lived through it. You lived through it. Like we lived through it together. We watched these games live together. So it's not, I mean, maybe for a younger fan that didn't see this, then maybe it resonates more. But for us, Mosh, I'm like, I remember sitting on your couch watching this game. I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. It's like, I remember this. You know what I mean?
It got a little self-serving.
Right? It did, didn't it?
A bit.
Yeah.
A bit.
Yeah. So interesting there. All right. Next up, Dead Sea Scroll Steve, the Houston Raider Steve, the historian, the 900 nicknames that we have for this man. And he is a wealth of knowledge. He is a stalwart here on Raiders Fan Radio. Become a good friend of ours. And let's check in with Houston Raider Steve.
Murf, Mosh, Swag Jeff, Capo, Raider Nation, Made Men, Made Women, Houston Raider Steve. Love all your podcasts, especially love the Tales from the Nation and all the shows. But the last one you did with Holy Roller,
I
a
know,
lot of
right?
people don't realize is that San Diego chicken was invented. I know Mosh knows this story. San Diego chicken was at the Padres games and everything. He was doing all kinds of stunts. Anyway, he was at that game. Charlie Jones called the game, legendary broadcaster from Valhalla. He called a lot of the Raider games, West Coast games. Being a Raider fan here in Houston, I listened to a lot of his games over the years. Anyway, he called the play-by-play that day, and he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame for the Pete Rozelle Award for TV and radio. It's really interesting. Anyway, so when Ken Stabler did the Holy Roller, the chicken was rolling around all over he was up in the end zone, up on a platform. He was rolling all over the bar that was there, the rail. He was bouncing back and forth off the wall. Finally, he fell down and had his feet up in the air. That's what they show after the end of the Holy Roller. So, anyway, never forget that game. Anyway, just thought I'd pass it on as my 2 cents.
Oh,
Charlie Jones,
nice.
Great broadcaster. Couldn't think about the Raiders without thinking about Charlie Jones. Ken the Snake Stabler, he kept laughing and everything and talking about the chicken when the chicken was doing all that, where he was rolling all over the rail and back on the platform up there in the end zone, falling down. He said some really funny remarks about that. So, Ken Stabler, that was one of the good things that went for us versus the ones that didn't go against us. And we all know which ones they are, the Tuck Game and Immaculate Deception. Great show.
Thank you. Houston Raiders Steve. I love it, Mosh. Have you ever seen that video of the Holy Roller, the NFL film?
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny, the chicken flopping all around and everything. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So good stuff there from Houston Raider Steve. We appreciate you. Gosh, Mosh, I just looked up. I realized we've been going 2 hours already. Yeah. Yeah, we've been going 2 hours. So,
Did we do contact info yet?
We had a lot. See what I'm talking about? Though? There's a lot going on, man. There's a lot going on around RFR, of course, and now we're in our every other week schedule too. So these things
we got to make up for it.
Tend to kind of build up a little bit. So, anyways, we got 2 more to get to before we go get out of the voicemails and Mosh awards a Sizzler. Next up, we're going to hear from our buddy, another longtime made man, good friend of the show. He is Kevin the Raider Nerd.
Hey, Raiders Fan Radio. This is Kevin the Raider Nerd. Hello, Murf. Hello, Uncle Mosh, Swag Jeff, the Capo, and the rest of my fellow made men and women. Kevin the Raider Nerd here, checking in with you guys. Hoping you all are doing well during the quarantine. I know we've had some football to talk about. First of all, I want to say great job on the coverage of the draft, guys. I really, really enjoyed your insight. Keep it up. Also, too, regarding your merch that you're looking at selling, please, let's make those Tales from the Dark Side shirts available. I'd love to buy one of those. Take my money, please. I'll throw it at you right now. I love it. Please, bring it out. So the big news right now is the release of the schedule. Think it's a pretty cool schedule. I love the fact that the Raiders get Monday night alone on the second week. They're not thrown in there on the first week. I think that's great. It's going to be the game everyone's going to be watching at their brand new stadium. I think we got 4 primetime games. This is the stuff we've been waiting for. We're not going to be losing the game anytime soon, I think, in any international games in the near future. We're probably going to play in some international games, but we're not going to lose any home games because this is the kind of the under the table deal that I think that Mark, the owner, has done for us Raiders, and so I'm really looking forward to that. But of course, there's some controversy because apparently all the games are sold out except for the resellers, which gobbled up a bunch of them. So I've been seeing cheap nosebleed seats going for close to $1,000 for a lot of these games. And, I'm not surprised, but there's a little bit of sticker shock among all of us here. So the question is, what are most of you going to do that don't have season tickets or know anyone that does? Well, I'm looking at going to the first game, even though I may not get in it. I may go there just to tailgate.
Come on.
It's only about a 5-hour drive from Southern California where I live, so I want to know who's in, who's going. I'm very interested in hanging out with Raider Nation and just kind of checking out Las Vegas and doing that. So I don't know what any of my fellow made men and women might be doing, but I just like to throw that out at you.
He knows
I'd love
now.
to make that
Sure
trip
does.
to you guys if I can't make the game. Don't know if I want to spend thousands of dollars for a game ticket, but I may be watching a lot of the other games at home. But maybe I can get to the game in L.A. against the Chargers. That might obviously be a cheaper game to go to and easier to get into. I can't think of what else I wanted to talk about, remind Murph what to mention or topic to discuss.
Yeah, we'll get to it next week.
What could that be? What could that be? I don't know. Anyway, you guys are doing
Google
great.
Voice
Miss you
has
guys. I'll
claimed
see you
you.
on the chat when I can. Got kind of a busy schedule, podcasting and all. Love you. Bye.
Awesome stuff there from Kevin the Raider Nerd. Check out Kevin and all of his content at the Fandom Podcast Network. The football-related show they do is called The End Zone, but there's literally like 12 shows or something that they do over there. And if you're into any kind of like geek culture, anything from Star Wars to Star Trek to Highlander and all that kind of stuff, Kevin's got all that stuff. And Kevin
Loves
was the
that stuff.
original Mandalorian, man, before the Mandalorian show took
we
off.
have great pictures with him when we did the show from the parking lot.
That's right.
In the Titans game.
That's exactly right, man. And so appreciate Kevin and all of his support as always here. So Kevin used to live in Atlanta. He's from California, and that's where he lives again now. But for a long time, he lived in Atlanta, and he was part of the Atlanta Raider Nation or the Atlanta Booster Club. And so I was like, had it fully on my radar to reach out to Kevin and number one, say, are you going to the game in Atlanta? Because we knew we are. And two, I was going to say to Kevin, hey, let us know about any of the tailgates or any of the meetups so that we could, we could be part of that with whoever and maybe set up a broadcast or whatever, right? Like what we do, like we do our remotes and we do that kind of stuff. So I hadn't called Kevin. I haven't talked to Kevin yet. I've heard his message there, Mosh, but I hadn't called Kevin yet. Well, how about this? Not only did we get a new caller to the show tonight, the president of the frickin' Atlanta Raider Booster Club called us this week. And so let's check in with Kevin Granberry.
Hey, Murph, Swag, Jeff, and Uncle Mosh. This is Kevin Granberry, president of the Atlanta chapter of the Raider Fan Club. Hey, just was listening to your show and saw you were talking about coming to Atlanta for the big game. What I want to do is cordially invite you and your listeners down to come and enjoy watching the Raiders play in the lovely city of Atlanta, not too far from Tennessee, I might add. So we'll be sending out information, following up about our events. Basically, we want to have a Friday night welcome party, a Saturday night get-together, and our Sunday tailgate party, which was quite an event 8 years ago. So hopefully you guys will attend, and hopefully many of your listeners will attend too. And also our international ambassador, Kevin the Raider Nerd, will be in attendance as well. So hopefully all's going well, and enjoy. Go Raiders.
Kevin Granberry, invitation accepted, my friend. Like, I can't wait. We have all, just even in the chat already tonight, so many folks that are in our region of the country have already said that Atlanta is a target for their Raider game this year. And yeah, man, we Raider Nation rolls deep no matter where we are. But definitely the RFR crew will have a big presence. At the Atlanta game. And so thank you very much for extending that invite. And and we accept and look forward to. We'll be in touch as we get closer. And definitely let's set something up. And because we'll want to do like what we did at the draft, because it's tough for us to do like remotes on the road when we got to get on a plane. But when we're packing up our vehicles, we can load in all the podcasting equipment and video equipment and everything. We can do anything from anywhere.
Yep.
And so that idea that, like what we did for the draft, well, we can do that in Atlanta, Mosh. So I'm really fired up for that. Thank you, Kevin Granberry. Thank you, Kevin the Raider Nerd.
When we went to Birmingham, when we met up with Kevin the Raider Nerd in
down
Birmingham.
there. Yeah.
We had all our stuff, and it was just as, they provided us a little room there at the stadium, and we were good to go.
Absolutely. That's right. Good call out there, Mosh. Appreciate that. And yeah, man, so I'm looking forward to working with the Atlanta Raider Booster Club and getting down there. So I've been to Atlanta twice for Raider games, and both times we got our ass kicked. So hopefully the third time is a charm, and we'll go down there and beat them.
I am the Sizzler.
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 Sizzler. Sizzler. Sizzler.
All right, so tonight's Sizzler Award. Of course, we heard from we started things off with guys that sit at the table with Capo and Mojo, and then we heard from Eye Patch, and he's just jonesing for some sports, man. And and Eye Patch was saying he's getting tired of the MJ stuff.
Yeah,
and no disrespect to MJ ever intended, but this thing is when it's the only game on TV. We were sitting here earlier, we were going, all right, NASCAR will be back this Sunday. No fans in the stands, but NASCAR, we're all jonesing a little bit. The Holy Roller was brought up. The Holy Roller, the chicken versus the snake and chickens don't ever win that battle.
No.
By Steve, and we love that. Kevin, plans for the tailgate. Well, you know what, Kevin? Hook up with Mojo. He's got those plans squared away. And then our last caller, the Atlanta chapter president, asked us to be there. We will get with them, and we will let out that information. It looks like by reading the chat tonight, a lot of people are going to go to that.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
A lot of people are going to go to that. But tonight's Sizzler Award comes from the emails.
Oh, nice. Love it.
Let me just read you one or two of the passages from the email, and you tell me who the winner is.
Okay.
Andy Reid.
Fat.
Deeper than the tub of pudding that Andy Reid had after the Super Bowl win, deeper than John Elway's love for himself, his buck-toothed donkey face, and deeper than Phillip Rivers' pullout game. And then in the next paragraph, I'm talking about those sucky, sufferable second-class seasons that are the Seattle Seahawks. I'm talking about those sucky, sufferable second-class seasonals that are the Seattle Seahawks. I love that sentence.
So good.
I love it. So.
Or should I say so sweet?
So sweet. and not sucky.
And succinct. Swell.
Kilyadas.
Kilyadas. We don't know how to say your name.
I'm going to go with the Yadas. Kilyadas.
So sweetie swung a sizzler.
Kilyadas, you win the Sizzler Award for this and there was many more things.
Yeah.
It was an outstanding, well-crafted, well-written, one of those that just is, I'm
only half
phenomenal.
Joking. You're an English major and an English teacher.
Yeah.
You appreciate this kind of stuff.
Oh, my gosh. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So congratulations on your first BRT Sizzler Award. One more time for you, my brother.
I am the Sizzler.
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 Sizzler. Sizzler. Sizzler.
We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders!
You know why we're out here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
Paul, this is going out to you. It's spelled Kiljaedas.
There we go.
I just want to make sure for his records.
Absolutely. I think it's Kiljaedas. I think that's what that is.
Kiljaedas.
Oh, maybe you don't pronounce the J.
No, you don't pronounce the J.
Kiljaedas. I don't know that. All right, so appreciate you joining us here for this episode of Raiders Fan Radio, episode number 168 here in Murph's Fan Cave. Please subscribe. We love all of the views that we get, and we are striving to hit the 2,000 subscriber mark. And so if you would do us a solid, please, and subscribe to the show. And then those of you that are subscribed between like 1,800 for the next all the way up to 2,000, we're going to pick a handful of you and send you free stuff. So please subscribe to us and support us that way. And then also go to RaidersFanRadio.com/gear and click that
Slow
link.
down, we got time.
Okay, sorry. I know I'm so used to rushing.
No Russians, bro.
Go to RaidersFanRadio.com/gear and check in with our sweet swag. Buy some stuff.
I'm going to tell him you called him sweet swag.
I know, right? Take that one out of context. But anyway, but support us in that way, please, by doing that. And also, anywhere you can find a podcast, just search for us, Murph's Fan Cave, and subscribe to us there. Appreciate the chat tonight. The chat has been on fire. Lino the Full Metal Mexican, Kelyedas is in there. Raider Critique, what's up, Critique? Mojo's Pod Show, Eye Patch is in there. Aaron the Q-Dog, Raider the Capo, bringing it every single week. You're such a rock star, dude. We appreciate you so much. Herman Munster, Michelle Sweat, Sam Hain, thank you so much. Appreciate you every week. And Uncle Mosh, thank you, man, for being here tonight.
No problem. My pleasure. You know, don't forget, Mojo was in there. He's got, you don't want to miss on his show. There's just a bunch of stuff going on in the Raider world, man. And we just thank everybody for showing up tonight. It was fun. It was fun.
Good time.
We haven't done a 2-hour plus show in a long time.
Been a long time, man.
Our ratings will probably suck.
Yeah, that's okay.
Hey, don't forget, speaking of that, I didn't get a chance to hit the hate button yet. So
you better thumb us down.
No, I'll thumb us down in a second. But the rest of you, before you leave, hit the thumbs up button. We appreciate that. Thanks for listening tonight, everybody. For Murph, this is your old Uncle Mosh and Swaggy J in absentia. You've been listening to Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. Remember, what happens in Vegas started in Oakland.
Murph, Swag Jeff, and who's the third guy?